the halfway point of the regular season, and boy, it hasn't disappointed.
Big trouble. Danger lurks around every corner. What a hard hit.
That's one of the hardest hits you'll find in racing right there.
Through 13 races, it's been a youth movement that stood out from the rest, with 3 particular drivers really making a name for themselves.
Tyler Reddick, a winner at Talladega. And Christopher Bell wins. Cole Custer wins it at Pocono.
But to these guys, none of that matters. With 13 more to go, they have no intention of slowing down.
We can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
We're about to have ourselves a showdown.
It's Iowa, it's Xfinity, and it's only on FS1.
It has to start somewhere. It has to start sometime. What better place than here? What better time than now?
So welcome to Newton, Iowa, home of the Iowa Speedway and thousands of miles of that right there, cornfields. Some call this 7/8 quarter mile oval the perfect size track. And today, the Xfinity Series brings the party to the heartland as we continue to ask who can give the top 3 in the series a run for their money. We are so excited to get you ready for Xfinity Series racing. I'm Shannon Spake, Larry McReynolds, Jamie McMurray. First of all, happy Father's Day to both of you.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day to everybody at home. Like I said, we're excited to get you ready for Xfinity Series racing. Thank you for spending the day with us. Earlier today, the Gander truck race was held out at Iowa Speedway because of rain in the area last night. Ross Chastain was the winner, but he failed post-race inspection on his front ride heights and was disqualified. It's the first time since 1995 a win has been taken away from a driver. Brett Moffitt was awarded the win. This is a big deal.
No, it is a big deal because I've been in the sport for almost 40 years, and you just spoke about the only one that I know of that's happened in that 40-year period. And the layers are so huge here because, yeah, Ross had decided to go for the Truck Series Championship, which meant he had to win a race before the regular season ended and get to the top 20 in points. Well, he was close on that. He gets the win, and now that's gone. He also had won the $50,000 bonus for the Triple Truck Challenge, and that's taken away. So the layers of this just goes on and on.
We asked so many times at the beginning of the season what would happen when this scenario played out, and here it is.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for Ross. I ran into him a couple of weeks ago at the CGR race shop, and he was going to make this decision, and I could tell he was nervous about doing this. And I was like, no, I think you've made the right decision. And I didn't realize he had to win a race. And when I found that out, I'm like, well, I don't know, Ross. I'm like, that's a big step to have to take. And then to see him win this today, I'm like, oh, he's made the right decision. And then to be taken away, I mean, a lot of emotions that he's been through in the last 6 months.
Huge range of emotions. Huge range of emotions also for an 18-year-old who's in the field double duty today. That, of course, is Harrison Burton. He's making just his 2nd Xfinity Series start, and he is with our Hermie Sadler.
Well, Shannon, nobody's having more fun today than 18-year-old Harrison Burton. Now, you're a young guy, but this is like an old-school doubleheader. You've already run 200 laps and got a top 5 finish in the truck race. So how do you turn those extra laps and put it to your advantage today?
I think Iowa is a really tough racetrack as it is, so hopefully I can use the laps to my advantage and see this is a really tough place to pass. So made some things work in the truck race that hopefully I can do in the Xfinity race, and if not, then I'll just have to go and learn something new, I guess. So it's something that's really, really cool about our sport is some things that work one day or one race might not work another race. So it always keeps you on your toes, and hopefully it works out to where everything is pretty transferable from one race to another, and if not, then I'll just go to work.
Harrison had a great run in this car back at Bristol. He starts 10th today, Shannon.
Thank you so much, Hermie. So a fun racetrack, right, to be calling double duty. You said earlier today, and we mentioned before, kind of like a perfect track for race car drivers. Why?
Yeah, well, it's a good length. It's 7/8 of a mile. It's also wide, and if you look at this track, it's been repaved or patched on the bottom, so guys have to move around, so it's rough on the bottom. We saw Ross Chastain run kind of the middle to the higher lane in the track. The restarts are also pretty chaotic here because of how wide it is. The guy in third's always dive bombing whoever's on the inside front row, so fun racetrack, and I feel like most guys that come here really enjoy it.
But probably not the perfect situation for a lot of drivers. We have a lot of drivers like Harrison Burton that's never raced there in the Xfinity Series. Maybe running that truck race earlier will help him. We have a number of drivers, very few starts there in the Xfinity Series. And yesterday, because of weather, only 29 minutes of practice. So to me, when this green flag waves here in a little bit, a lot of unknowns for a lot of drivers and a lot of the team.
Isn't that going to make it more fun, though, the unknowns?
I always say, less practice, better racing.
There you go. We love that. Coming up, we're going to talk about the big three in this season, in this series. But we want to know who is the next man up. These guys will weigh in. Plus, Jamie Mack sits down with T-Red, Tyler Reddick, to talk about his success on the track this season. And it's a Mack attack. We try to stump the Macks. Coming up next.
He had to be perfect, and he was just that.
His future very bright in NASCAR. Allgaier hanging high with Bell gaining ground. Bell nearly got into the wall. Career win for Allgaier.
I mean, he came to Iowa with corn on his car. I had to make him a favorite.
Bell comes on second. And this is overtime. Allgaier gets free. Here comes Christopher Bell. Bell to the inside. They're side by side, coming to the final lap. Allgaier loses grip. Christopher Bell will win 3 in a row. What a finish.
It's just a matter of which side you're on.
Oh, boy, I think we can all agree that this place, Iowa Speedway, produces some great finishes. And one driver that was in the middle of both of those great finishes at this track 1 year ago, Justin Allgaier. He's with Alan Cavano.
Shannon, last year, Justin Allgaier had a streak of 13 straight top 10s that included 4 wins. That streak started here with a win in Iowa. How important would another win be for you?
That'd be huge, you know, obviously to come to Iowa, a racetrack that I love and the fans love. I mean, this racetrack is just one of the coolest racetracks on the schedule. To be in the middle of cornfields and have the Brant Fresh Agriculture on the car, that's always a good day. But, you know, we need some momentum. You know, we've had strong cars this year. We just haven't had the finishes to show for it. We've needed a little bit of speed here and there, but we just need to turn things around. And so this is a great place to do that. It's hot, slick. This racetrack, we're able to move around a lot, able to go to the top, run the bottom. So I think the restarts are going to be important, and I think, you know, the long run cars are going to be important. So finding that balance between the two is going to be a big deal.
2 races here last year. Shannon finishes a 1st and 2nd for Justin Allgaier.
Yes, Alan, and he will be looking for that big mo starting from the 14th position. Certainly Justin Allgaier, one of the front runners in today's race. And so far this season, all eyes have really been on the big 3. Of course, that's Bell, Custer, and Reddick. All of those guys have multiple wins. But who's the next man up? Is it Justin Allgaier? He's won 4 stages, led 265 laps. Chase Briscoe, there's another name. And of course, you cannot forget Noah Gragson. He had a slow start to this season, has turned it around in the last 3 races for finishes of 4th, 6th, and 7th. All right, there. Who's on your radar, Jamie Mack?
Well, I like Chase Briscoe. He drove the 60 car last year, and it seemed like not just him, but whoever was in the 60 car, that car was either in a wreck or something happened. So we didn't really know what to expect. He's been one of the best surprises, though, of the season. It's been extremely consistent, 2nd best average finish, 6 top 5s and 13 starts. And he's just an extremely consistent driver and doesn't put himself in bad positions. And I think he's one of those guys that once he gets the 1st win, the 2nd and the 3rd one are going to come a lot quicker.
Funny how that happens, right?
Yeah, and I could make a case for any one of those 3 drivers, but the guy that I just see them coming to life is Noah Gragson in that 9 team over Junior Motorsports. I know Noah only has 16 starts. He is a true rookie, and I realized this year got off to a very rocky start. Those first 10 races, only 3 top 10s, but to your point, the last 3 races, 3 top 10s and 2 top 5s. But I just can't make myself believe that Junior Motorsports, they've won 3 out of the last 5 Xfinity Series championships. They will not have a player when we get to Miami in November. And one reason I do like Noah Gragson, speaking of championships for Junior Motorsports, the man guiding that 9 ship, Dave Ellens, he won the last 2 with William Byron 2 years ago, and Tyler Reddick last year as their crew chief.
Pretty good guy to have on top of that
I'd
pit box,
say
then.
he's a good source to have.
All right, we'll see if one of those guys can get it done out in Iowa today. Still to come, he's the reigning Xfinity Series champion and is a threat to win each and every week this season. Tyler Reddick is going to discuss his on-track success when race day rolls on. Welcome back to Race Day here on FS1. Take a look at that 2-car Tyler Reddick rolling off 5th today. And tomorrow on Race Hub, we're going to bring you a very special show celebrating the 50th anniversary of Richard Childress Racing. Here's a preview.
It has been unbelievable to be a part of the greatest race team in the history of NASCAR.
Y'all remember this story?
I do.
to work that hard and to devote everything you had to it. You had to win.
We didn't realize at the time we were making history. We did it, we did it, we did it, and we did it together.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Through all the ups and downs of racing, that's why RCR is here for 50 years. Everybody's had each other's back. It's been a family.
Such a cool show. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a really cool look at 50 years of RCR. So there's just one full-time entry for RCR in the Xfinity Series this year, but it seems that's all they need to find success. So Jamie Mack sat down with Tyler Reddick to find out what winning has done for his confidence.
People tell me I still look young, and when you get to be 43, you want to hear that.
Yeah. That poster over there didn't look too much different.
I didn't, did I?
A little bit. Maybe with like the... You used to have blonde tips, right?
That's exactly right.
Why would people do that? Who did it that were like, I got it?
You know, I think it was a boy band thing too, right? Like it was
like the NSYNC.
Yeah,
like,
no, that was it. Yeah, like I did maybe Backstreet Boys, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now that we made fun of Jamie, you weren't really someone that they were talking about winning the championship last year, but then, man, those last few races, it all came together. You won the championship, and then you leave that team and go to another team. Why the change in going to RCR?
They have Cup equipment. I've been able to race a few Cup starts now.
Yeah.
It's just all been about trying to get the end goal is, you know, be a full-time Cup driver and compete for a Cup championship. But that's a very tough road to navigate.
Is there any satisfaction that you change teams and that you're outrunning all of them now? I mean, do you think about that? You do. I can see it.
No, I can't not think about it because my crew chief, Dave Ellens, is always texting me, or when I see him, he's flipping me off. He's mad at me all the time.
Because you still have those friendships, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm really good friends with a lot of people over there, and they constantly bust my chops about it. You know, they're kind of like, knock it off, like slow down a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, the new venture to the new team has been great for me, and it's been great for RCR, so I'm enjoying the move, and I don't regret it.
But I read that you said you were the most confident that you've ever been. Can you just explain to me?
Well, I mean, 10 straight top fives helps a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Leading the points by, I think, 89 right now, having 3 wins, more wins than I've ever accumulated in 1 year of racing in NASCAR.
Yeah.
But just to speak to my comfort in the sport, you know, when I came in, I mean, I knew the players. I watched it on Sundays, but, like, I didn't grow up racing with any of these guys because I came from dirt racing. It was just a new world, and there was a lot of uncertainty. But the more I've been around it, the more I've gotten to know people in the sport, the more comfortable I am.
You weren't raised in a NASCAR family, you know, and that's different.
Yeah, my dad, for sure, when he was young, he was doing motocross, and, you know, he felt like he had the capability to get to the next level and keep going.
Yeah.
But the support system for him in place wasn't there, and he can only do so much on his own.
Right.
So I feel like what really drove him to help me as much as he had is he felt like at one time he was good enough to make it. He just didn't get the opportunities to fall his way.
But he kind of used what he learned to help guide you, right?
Yeah, whenever we figured out we were going to be pretty serious about it, like he exhausted everything he had to make it possible. I guess it's worked out pretty good so far. Finally.
It's worked out pretty good. I would agree.
Great job, Jamie.
Thanks.
That was great. Good stuff. Good info. But you know what is burned into my brain from that entire interview?
Frosted Tips.
Frosted Tips. Yeah, take a look. Oh, my gosh. There we go. Oh, that's good.
Just
right
for the
there.
record, I've
How old
never
are we
had
in this?
Frosted
You
Tips.
never had the pair to have Frosted Tips.
How old are we in this picture right there,
I
Jamie?
don't
What do
know,
you
Shannon.
think?
2003,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm 27, 28.
Well, that's all right.
You ever date a guy with Frosted Tips?
Yes, and I probably had Frosted Tips at some with the sun end. Anyways, so what did you take away from this interview with Tyler Reddick?
Well, the one thing that they didn't show in that piece is I asked him about the Cup race at Kansas and finishing in the top 10, and he's like, you know, he said, I got to 10th, and he said, I thought, what if I get to 5th? And he goes, on one of the restarts, I got to 4th, and I thought, what if I win today? And what that said to me is that this guy is so confident. He felt like he could win that race if he got in the right position, and I think if he gets in the right car, he can.
And you just think about it. There's a driver and there's a team. And there was a lot of things that changed at Richard Childress Racing during the offseason. But going to a single-car team, you look at their last 2 years, I think you mentioned it, Shannon, 1 win. They were winless in 2017. So obviously something that has changed is right over there, probably a combination of several things. But they run good no matter where they unload, no matter what type of track. And you know what? 10 consecutive top 5 finishes, that's amazing, even if you're running bandoleros or go-karts. In fact, that's the longest streak of top 5 finishes in the Xfinity Series since Sam Ard had 11 as a non-Cup competitor 25 years ago.
full of the stats.
Yeah, he is full of stats. One thing that I could not let slip through the cracks on that interview, Larry, was I had to ask Tyler Reddick about the little bromance that you have on him, and you know Larry McDermott very well.
Actually, my girlfriend used to live with Brooke a little bit last year.
Brooke is Larry's daughter.
Yes, yes, and I know Larry fairly well in passing.
Yeah. Do you know how much he likes you? Do you know it's almost awkward?
Brooke will joke about it sometimes whenever I'm
So
over there
he talks
visiting.
about you like even around to her?
I think so, yes.
He likes you because you race hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just race, and there's no complaining.
He's got the old school mentality.
For sure.
You know? He's from that area where drivers raced hard and they got over it the next day. It's just racing.
I think you're blushing a little bit.
What
I know he
you
was.
should have asked him is what I told him I would do. If he ever changed, I'd yank a knot in that tail. That's what I'd do.
And I told Tyler that I was kind of making fun of Larry in that, but I told him, and the reason you like him is because he races hard.
Yeah,
and because
he
like what he stands
races
for.
hard, and he
fair.
doesn't mind being raced hard. I love that about him.
Yeah, we like watching him race for sure. Okay, we're going to do that very shortly, but straight ahead, Larry and Jamie are on the hot seat. Can I stump the Max for the last time this year? Stick ahead, more race day ahead.
Xfinity drivers only this weekend. And this one going to be all kinds of entertaining.
It's going to be tough today.
What a fun track. Short track racing, you can't beat it.
This track is just so racy.
Racy, fun, exciting. That's Iowa, but it's also our next segment, which is Stump the Mac. Take a look. Iowa Speedway, we're getting you ready for racing, which is coming up very shortly. Now it's time for my favorite part of the show. And since it's Father's Day, we figured we would do a little Father's Day theme. So, Larry, you're up first. Which father-son duo has more combined wins together? Father-son duo has more combined wins. The Earnhardts or the Allisons?
The Earnhardts.
The Earnhardts.
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final
It's the Allisons, but it's close. 102 to 103. The
I knew it
Allisons with
had to
103.
be like really, really
Very close. We'll kind of give you an A for effort or B plus.
It's either right or wrong. There's
no gray area, right?
There's no.
Okay, then let's see how it goes for you. How many father-son duos have won the Daytona 500?
2.
3. The Pettys, the Earnhardts, and the Allisons.
It was close, so I'll get like an A.
Nope. Larry, who sang the song Papa Don't Preach?
Madonna.
That's his. Larry
Mack.
Larry Mack.
Sure
You do not get a point for that. You don't get a point for that. Very good job, Madonna. Jamie, I almost said McDonald's. Jamie, most popular Father's Day gift is what?
That's high.
That's great. Did somebody give you that answer?
Oh.
Okay, tiebreaker. Father's Day has been celebrated around the world for 4,000 years, but what year was the first year it was celebrated here in the United States? Or in the,
I have no idea.
Guess.
1860.
1960.
1910, he was close enough. Happy Father's Day to everyone, my father and my husband as well. Time now to go trackside for opening ceremonies from Iowa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Iowa National Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Aaron Laurie offers today's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day at the Iowa Speedway. Today it is our prayer that you would protect every person here, including the drivers, pit crews, safety men and women, and certainly all of our fans. God, we also thank you for the fathers that are here as well. Bless them. And certainly we pray for the men and women who are fighting all around the world to keep America the greatest nation on this earth. Protect them and guide them. All we ask this now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please welcome from the Executive Office in the Alpha Company 224th Brigade Engineer Battalion, First Lieutenant Kyle Patterson as he performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Busy day out in Iowa as we get you ready for the second part of the doubleheader. On the other side of the commercial break, Adam Alexander, Michael Waltrip, and Regan Smith will take it away to call the race. Iowa coming up next.
Fox NASCAR is live in Newton, Iowa. Happy Father's Day from Iowa Speedway, where today the NASCAR Xfinity Series races for the 19th time. With Michael Waltrip, Regan Smith, I'm Adam Alexander. This is our third short track race of the year. When you look at Bristol, Richmond, and Iowa, they don't have much in common, Michael.
Especially not Bristol. I mean, this place is high bank, tight turns, not a whole lot of room to operate. Iowa, exactly the opposite. You can slide all over this place.
Well, in Richmond, as we take a look here, the shape, very similar, but the way that the race tracks drive, completely different. A bad misconception a lot of people make is thinking that they're the same racetrack, completely different.
You look at the numbers for Iowa, it is flat worn out. And one season ago here, there were two names you needed to know, Michael.
Man, and one of them was Justin Allgaier. He won both stages, led over 100 laps, 182 laps on his way to victory. But look at this tight racing. This is what we're going to expect all evening tonight. 3, 4 wide, battles all throughout the field. It's such a fun racetrack to watch guys run on.
It's a fun racetrack to watch, and an even more fun racetrack to drive. Christopher Bell knows that all too well. He restarted 4th in this race last year, manages to come through and get the victory in the second race last year. Comes through, gets the victory, double overtime. It was so much fun to watch.
Bell has won 4 of the last 7 races on short tracks, including earlier this season in Thunder Valley.
Yeah, that was a great run for Bell at Bristol. He was obviously dominant, but I was more impressed with Cole Custer when they got to Richmond. These guys have been good on the short tracks all year.
You know, you took the words right out of my mouth. Cole Custer, he's on the pole tonight. Very fast race car, but that Richmond win, he's really come to life on these short tracks. That was one area we felt like he needed to work on, and he has done.
You can't mention Bell and Custer without saying Tyler Reddick. Each of these drivers has won 3 times this season.
What about how our season started? Daytona, Michael Annett gets a big win, and then it looked like it was going to all be about Christopher Bell. Then Cole Custer goes to California, wins on his home track, and now 3 out of the last 5, it's been Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick's been extremely strong. A little bit of a struggle this weekend so far for him, though.
The big 3 starting in the top 5. We'll go green in a moment. Right now, we're going trackside to get the command to fire engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CEO of Circuit City, Ronnie Schmuel, and Tamron North American Business Manager, KT Lang, as they deliver the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Fired up, Buzz. You crank it up.
Anything can happen when you go short track racing. Last 9 races here, 9 different winners. Who gets it done today? Find out next on FS1. Today marks the start of the second half of the regular season of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We're live in Newton, Iowa for the Iowa 250. You know, a year ago, Justin Allgaier won the regular season championship. 5 victories, but winless so far in 2019. Let's go from the driver's seat with driver number 7.
Well, Justin, this is Regan in the FS1 booth, starting 11th tonight, starting 14th tonight. You started 11th in this race last year. This got your season going, a win in this race. Are you going to have the car to do that same thing this evening?
Didn't qualify like we wanted to today, but we didn't qualify well here in the spring last year either. So Brent Prestock, Camaro has been good at Iowa in the past, and we've relied a lot on our notes, even though it's a new tire. And Jason Brett and these boys do a fantastic job. So if anybody's got the ability to do it, I think our team does, and we just got to go out there and execute all day, make sure we put ourselves in good position, and hopefully play the strategy right and put ourselves in a good spot at the end of the race.
Justin, it's Michael Waltrip. You've got the right sponsor. That corn on the car looks awesome here in Iowa. That makes you my favorite. What's it take to win here? Do you have to have a car that can run up high and low, or do you pick one lane and run there?
Well, thank you, Michael. Obviously having the brands as part of our organization is huge, and Rick's here today, and makes it fun to go to victory lane when they're here. But I think, to answer your question, you got to have a car that's good on the short run and the long run. You got to have a car that's maneuverable and run all the different lanes, which I think is why it makes this place so tricky. Very rarely do you find a car that drives perfectly in all grooves and short and long run, and so finding that balance, where do you give up that little bit to gain a lot on the other side, and I think that's one area that our team has excelled at. So I'm hopeful that we can do our job today and go to victory lane. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you guys and all the dads out there. My dad is. We'll go try to put it back in victory lane for Father's Day.
All right, we appreciate you, bud. Have fun. Can't wait to watch.
Let's hear from our pit reporters. We start with Alan Cavana.
Hey, Adam, 20-year-old Zane Smith. He hasn't been in a race car since early May in Dover. It's only his 5th career Xfinity Series start, but he says this may be one of the most important. That's because he gets to race today and the very next race in Chicagoland, meaning anything he learns, any momentum he picks up, he gets to carry over to the very next race. They came off the truck with speed, and he starts a career-best 3rd place. We'll see what he has today, Hermie.
Alan, Noah Gragson comes into this race with his confidence set an all-season high, 3 consecutive top 10s, including a 2nd place finish last week at Michigan. They were good in practice of the junior motorsports cars, best off the truck. They think they've got a legitimate shot to join that big 3 and go to victory lane today.
And Hermie, that 2nd place finish last week matched his career best that came at Richmond a season ago. So we know the young driver out of Las Vegas can do it on a short track. Here's our race analysis. 250 laps today. The stage breakdown 60, 60, 130, and the fuel window right around 100 laps. Front row, Cole Custer, Christopher Bell, the 00, says, I'm going to take the outside lane. Gorgeous Sunday evening. Happy Father's Day. It's go time at Iowa.
Didn't take long for us to get 3 wide, did it? Down into turn 3. You can see Zane Smith digging down on the bottom, trying to clear Christopher Bell. That outside lane was the choice, the right choice to grab the lead for Custer.
It's very important to get that momentum off of turn 2, which we saw that do work out for Cole Custer, getting that momentum. But then he went right to the top in 3 and 4, and we could see that all day long. Drivers running that top lane of the racetrack.
I love the options. 3 wide for 2nd, 2 wide behind him. That's Nemechek on the outside of the 18, Harrison Burton.
And what about that run Nemechek got off turn 4? You can see him really closing in on Noah Gragson. Looks like that 23 car is hooked up here early in the goings. A lot of slipping and sliding we're going to see here today at Iowa.
So much give and take on a start or a restart here, because as you talked about, lane selection is so important. Once it settles down, we'll find out who has what. But right now, it is the Cole Custer show. Started on the pole and has jumped out front. His advantage already a 2nd.
Well, what Cole likes right now is these guys 2 by 2 behind him. That's allowing him to drive away, get that little bit of a gap on the guys that are running for 2nd and 3rd right here, Christopher Bell and Noah Gragson. And it's also going to allow him to keep his tires fresher as the run goes on. This could pay dividends at the end of this run.
Yeah, Regan, you've raced here. I'm curious, do you use your tires more if you're running that bottom, or do you use them more carrying more more speed into the corner up high on the track.
Well, I think right now, from what we've heard from the drivers, this tire doesn't have quite as much grip as the tire they've had there in the past. When they run up a little bit higher in the track, they're not having to turn the wheel quite as much with that race car, and they're not scrubbing the speed with that tire, and that's why we're seeing them all migrate up to that top side of the racetrack early on.
Good race here for second. Need to let everyone know Ryan Ellis driving the 99 today for B.J. McLeod. Posted for a start violation, and he was yet to come down pit road and serve his penalty. We'll keep you apprised of his circumstance. And look at this racing back in the pack. Saw the 07 of Ray Black Jr. Josh Williams was there. And now for sixth, Harrison Burton, Austin Cindric, and Zane Smith in that 8 car.
And I think Zane Smith has been 3 wide since this race has started almost. This is a guy that only has 18 laps on this racetrack so far in his career leading up to this race. A very nice job by him this weekend, but they're putting him in some interesting positions right now.
And just out back there, you see Justin Allgaier already into the top 10. Justin's up to the 8th position, and he's going to join this 3-way battle.
Pretty crazy that he led 182 laps here and won both stages a year ago. After starting 11th, you mentioned it, Regan, 14th today, you would think is an enormous penalty at the start. Not the case. He is driving right up through there and got 3 more victims waiting in front of him.
Well, and when you think about a guy like Justin Allgaier, he knows how he wants his race car to feel in the race conditions. And it's a little surprising to see him qualify 14th, but he knows where he wants that car to be 10, 15, and 20 laps into a run. That's obviously what he had set up for yesterday in what limited practice we did get.
And when you have the experience that someone like Allgaier has, you're going to learn that early. You're going to figure that in a hurry exactly how well your car will run on the long haul.
Justin Haley started in the back because of an engine change. No problems for him. Second Xfinity start at Iowa, and he's making up ground. Already 17th. We're 8 laps in.
You know, I love our visor cam right here. It shows the amount of character that this racetrack at Iowa has. This big correction right there by Justin Haley. He caught the bumps just wrong there as he got back to the gas pedal. We saw that car jump sideways. That was a nice save by him. But this racetrack is rough all the way around, especially through 1 and 2 on the entry in the middle right there. And we see the driver just getting jarred around. Tons of character here.
It looks like his shocks are unhooked, didn't it? I mean, he's bouncing all over the place, and that's just how violent the ride is. But look at this correction and save.
He was 3rd here in trucks a season ago, so he understands success on this short track. Watch those hands. and I say we should mandate all drivers wear white gloves. The 11's got a handful right now, Alan.
He does, and he's making the most of it. And for a rookie in this series, he's doing what he has to do. He has finished in the top half of the field every race this year. He's got 10 top 10s in 13 races. That puts him in a company with Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards in their rookie years. He's doing what he needs to do as a rookie and finishing these races.
Well, and he's not the only rookie that's done that this year as he drives around Chad Fincham for position, working his way around Ryan Sieg, who may have had an issue. You saw him wiggling there. Chase Briscoe also with 10 top 10s so far in his rookie campaign. And this battle is outstanding. 22 is Cindric. There's Zane Smith. And we talked about Allgaier coming fast.
And that move right there that Cindric just made, that's something we're going to see all day long, where he drives it into the corner on the bottom, pulls up in front of the car he's trying to pass. But you saw Zane Smith got right back to his bumper, and that's because he's got to check up to make sure he doesn't drive it into the wall, but he held his position the way that he made that pass.
And as the laps wind down, you're going to see those moves made more aggressively, and maybe not any space given to that car that's doing the blocking.
Cole Custer's led every lap so far, Hermie.
And Adam, it's been really fun to watch this year. His maturity is more confident, not only in the race car, but the way he communicates with the media, giving great feedback to his team right now. You think he's out front in the car, it's perfect, but it is not. It is tight, rolling through the center of the corner, which is making him loose on exit. He's concerned about overusing the right rear tire.
I talked to his crew chief this morning, Mike Shiplett. They won at Richmond. He said these 2 tracks really have nothing in common. You wouldn't know that based on the results. They were so good in the Commonwealth and doing it again this afternoon. A couple of young drivers going toe-to-toe here. Nemechek and Burton will follow the battle for 4th when we continue. 16 laps down. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Iowa 250.
I just love
to get a win for my dad on Father's Day. He's put so much time and effort of his life into my racing program.
Iowa actually provided a really good experience for me and my father. That was my first K&N win that I had there. It was really a special moment.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Wish you could be here.
Happy Father's Day to everybody watching at home. Glad you're with us on FS1. Happy Father's Day to everyone on our crew who gave up Father's Day to be a part of our coverage. And busy times for the race leader, Cole Custer, in traffic, driving down underneath the 21 of Joe Graf, who scored 26th and now 1 lap down.
And Cole Custer finding out a lot about his race car right now. As he catches this traffic, I know he's going by them and making relatively short term doing it. He's getting by him very fast, but it allows him to be in dirty air, and he needs to pay attention to what the race car is doing in dirty air in the event that he's back in the field at some point during this race, because it will drive differently.
Matt Mills, there he goes on the inside of Stephen Light in the 4 car. Has been racing hard with Joey Gase in the 35. Iowa's Joey Gase, home game for him. These guys desperately trying to stay on the lead lap. And Regan, like you said, his car will handle differently as he catches these guys, and these guys also will race more aggressively trying to stay on the lead lap.
We're not even halfway through the first stage. It really puts a spotlight on how good Cole Custer is, and the more vehicles he puts a lap down, perhaps the easier his life becomes later in case the strategy door were to open up. And you mentioned Joey Gase, home game there, home game here. Michael Annett, the Daytona winner from Des Moines.
I spoke to Michael about that earlier today. I said, hey, what would it mean for you on Father's Day to win at your home racetrack with your dad, who happens to be there at the racetrack? He said Daytona was big, but this one would be really special. He didn't want to say it would be bigger than Daytona, but it would be a big deal for him if he could pull that off.
And good pace early in the race, too, getting around Zane Smith there and driving up inside the top 10, currently riding 8th.
I think Junior Motorsports has found something the last few weeks. All their cars in the top 10 a week ago. All 4 scored in the top 9 here, with Zane Smith being the back end of that. And when you consider his inexperience at this place, that's a solid effort for JRM in the early going. And there's the guy carrying the flag for Junior Motorsports, the 9 of Noah Gragson, right in front of Harrison Burton, who's had a busy day, Hermie.
This doubleheader today, Adam, has turned into double duty for Harrison Burton. He's already run the truck race, got a top 5, started 10th all the way up to 4th, and battling the 9 to even go up the leaderboard further than that. But spoke to the crew chief, Ben Bashore, earlier today, and he said they were kind of prepared for the weather with limited practice. They went right on the racetrack first thing and got a good long run in, so they feel good about their car. And early today, Jeff Burton, his dad, over by the hauler, and Harrison mentioned, hey, I got 450 laps today at Iowa. Could be tough. And Jeff said, this is nothing, son. A couple years ago, I ran 800 miles back-to-back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Suck it up and get it done, Alan.
Yeah, and Justin Allgaier is trying to chase down Harrison Burton right now. Allgaier's up 9 spots already as we see a lot of smoke on the racetrack. Caution is out, guys.
First caution of the day going to be for David Starr. Looked like the engine expired as he came across the start-finish line and along the front straightaway. And that brings into mind strategy. Starr was 19. Is it possible that you come down, you pit here, and you go to the end of the second stage, or you just stay out here and save those tires? Everybody has 4 sets of tires laying in the pits. What do you guys think?
I want to save my tires right now, Regan. Where are you at? I think maybe stay out here, but certainly going to see a differing results in strategy here.
Well, I think everybody had confidence that this tire was going to be perfectly fine to make it these first 60 laps without a problem. I would rather save those tires for a little bit later, as we see David Starr's engine expire right there in a very large way. It's rare that we see that much smoke when these cars do blow up, and that happened right in front of our leaders. If it wasn't enough to have the engine blow up that way, right in front of the leaders.
You see, we're looking out the back of Cole Custer's car, and Christopher Bell was there. He had erased that deficit and driven to the back bumper of Cole Custer. So I know Cole's making notes that in the longer run, it seemed like maybe Bell had his number. He'll make adjustments for that later in the race.
You know, and another part to that is as the leader catches that lap traffic, they make it a little more difficult on the leader than maybe the second place car to get by him. The second place car, they were already a lap down at that point. Maybe sometimes as a driver, you just say, yeah, we'll back off just a little bit for this guy.
Yeah, I was curious how much of that is the balance of the car over the long haul versus Custer just having to deal with so much lap traffic, and something we'll certainly keep an eye on. But there's no doubt Bell was right in his hip pocket, something we hadn't seen in the first 25 laps or so.
You know, driver's work is never done either. And as we ride with Cole Custer right here, you hear him release that clutch, fire the motor up, and now he shuts the motor back off right there. What he's doing is saving fuel. We are only 32 laps into this race. They're already thinking about what they have to do to try and make their pit stop shorter, or to maybe get their window just a little bit different at some point. That's why he's saving fuel right now.
And he has a responsibility when he comes to pit road for that 14-second stop, too. He's got to get it out of gear, make sure he holds the brakes. These drivers, they have their work cut out for them all day long, especially on a short track. It just intensifies that much more.
Well, we see these first two, and it was a bit of a miscommunication last week at Michigan that took them out of the equation to win the race. They were somewhat in control. Bell was going to pit. Custer was told, do whatever the leader does. Bell miscommunicates with his team, pulls out. Custer does the same. Eventually, they have to make a green flag pit stop, and that's what took them out of an opportunity to go and get the checkered flag. And you heard the call there on the radio, stay out. No pitting here. Free pass goes to Garrett Smithley. First car 1 lap down, scored in 20th. Custer, the race leader, under caution for the first time.
John Hunter, you grew up, your family all involved in racing, but you weren't always this skinny little fitness guy, were you? I remember pictures of you back in the day and seeing you back in the day. You're a little bit chubby, maybe?
I was a chubby kid. It took me a while to figure out how to lose all my baby fat, that's for sure. But I was about 13 when I really decided that I wanted to get motivated, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be passionate about the sport. I wanted to drive, and kind of the fitness level took over. I've done a half Ironman. I'm training for another one again right now. I've been able to talk to Jimmy Johnson quite a bit about the whole training aspect.
You went down a path riding dirt bikes for a while. What I want to know about is I heard that you pretty much shut the entire community down with your dirt bike track.
Yeah, so we had some ugly neighbors that did not like us riding there, but about every one of our neighbors loved to come out and ride. They all had kids that rode or grandkids that rode, so everyone would come out in the community and ride at our motocross track.
I give you credit. I crashed once on a dirt bike, and that was it. I was done with them. I stuck to 4 tires, so that was it for me.
Roll cages a little bit safer.
I like seatbelts and roll cages all the way. Man, we appreciate you walking and talking with us. Good luck this weekend. Enjoy the race.
Appreciate it.
I think it was last week I joked and said we shouldn't call it walking and talking. We should call it investigative reporting. You got great information out of those drivers all season long.
You know, I had a blast doing that with the drivers all year long, and just getting to know them outside of the race car a little bit. We have so many great personalities. You like to hear about different stuff that they do.
Nemechek right now 6, pretty good start for him. Another rookie, Justin Haley, doing a nice job. Mentioned the engine change. He's worked his way to 13th. Not so good for Ryan Sieg, Michael. I mean, they've had back-to-back weeks where things didn't go their way and problems early here.
Yeah, something with the engine. They had some issues and went to the pit road and finds himself 22 laps off the pace. So they'll just have to grind it out, see if there's any attrition that might help him have a better finish.
You look at the points. He comes in 90 points above the cut line, so not really in jeopardy of losing their playoff standing. They're going to make it in as of now, but you hate to find a bad rhythm when things have been going so well, and we mentioned that break and how good it was for Noah Gragson at the beginning of May. It's kind of been the opposite for the 39 team of Ryan Sieg.
Yeah, a couple of finishes outside the top 20, unreminiscent of how his season has gone. It's been top 10, really solid all year long, and now they find themselves with a couple 3 bad weeks. They got to get that behind them because Ryan Sieg has been a great story in the 2019 season.
Much better to get that done now, though, than when we get closer to the playoffs. I know that team's working on some new race cars for the playoffs. They are very excited about that coming up here later this year.
So the career best finish came right here at Iowa a couple of years ago. First restart of the day, going to come with 22 laps remaining stage 1. Custer takes the outside lane, top 5. Bell, Gragson, Burton, and Allgaier behind him.
See that Bell's able to keep up just a little bit better with Cole Custer on the bottom this time. He's going to have a fender on him as they go into turn 3, which is better than what he did on the original start of this race.
Yeah, Noah Gragson will be watching closely and trying to follow. I was going to say follow, but maybe go 3 wide at the middle. Oh, and he crowded up Harrison Burton in that 18 car did Gragson, and it cost them both some momentum.
Looked like some contact there with the wall for Burton as they came off of the corner with that move.
From 5th to 3rd on the restart, Allgaier in the 7 looking for more. Well, he was 3rd, slid up. Now he's 3 wide for that 3rd position.
Wow, did he ever bury it off in that corner? He's going to use that big slide off-turn 4 to take that 3rd position.
Custer's led every lap. Bell is right there, but I think with 20 to go in this first stage, I'm starting to like Justin Allgaier from 14th to the top 3. That's pretty good.
There you see Tyler Reddick. He jumps up to the high side of the racetrack. It's been a rough start. We talked about practice not being great for that team yesterday. He certainly qualified well, but early in the race, he's struggled a bit. But it looks like on the long run now, he's being able to make some progress.
When's the last time we said Tyler Reddick's having a quiet day?
Never. I think Bell has the better car as the tires get heated up. He's going to be able to challenge Cole Custer. And this winning the stage is important. We need these playoff points to be a difference maker about when you get down September, October, making it to the next round.
You know, the big 3, they just keep stacking those playoff points, and these guys are thinking about that right now. Here's the other thing I love. These guys have raced like it's the last lap every lap of this season. They don't care. They go out there, they battle each other. They've been fun to watch, and I guarantee you that right now Christopher Bell is sitting there. He's equating in his mind, okay, as I look at the 00, where is he faster than me? Where can I make this move when I do get just a little bit closer to him?
Coming to today, Bell had 6 stage wins so far this year. 5 for Cole Custer. They're 1-2 in that category.
And the guy I keep wanting to put into the big 3, which would make it 4, is Justin Allgaier. I think he's going to have a strong summer. These are some great tracks for him. He's moved into the 3rd position. So like to see if that holds to be true, because he's such a great racer. It'll be fun to see him bear down on these 3.
Another guy who's been a lot of fun this year, Justin Haley, as he continues to move up from the back. He's already made his way to the top 10, and I love riding on board with him right here. As you come out of the corner right there, it almost feels like a roller coaster at Iowa. It doesn't show up quite as good from the top cam, but from that driver cam, you can see how the car gets light when it gets on the straightaway. Just a lot of fun coming out of the corners at this racetrack.
Those are some great moves down on the bottom, too. He was able to clear Zane Smith, and now he rides up beside Michael Annett. This 11 car is really strong, making all this progress. It's really hard to pass when you're back there in traffic, and he's making it work.
Allgaier 3rd, but under attack, Alan.
He is, but it's been a good day so far for Justin Allgaier. He is up 11 positions already early in this race, and that's one place he's struggled so far throughout the season, is gaining those positions, those passes during the race. So being up 11 positions already, remember, he won this race last year. It started off a great streak for him last season. He's trying to do it again this season.
Yeah, the summertime has been the right time for Justin Allgaier if you look at the history of his career. And one more time, we mentioned the name Justin Haley. Driving in between Brandon Jones and Michael Annett, give him 9th on the scoreboard.
Man, I like the looks of that 11 car. Being able to hold that low line and complete passes, that's really difficult to do here at Iowa.
Hermie talked earlier about what a busy day it's been for Harrison Burton, because the Gander Truck Race was rained out last night. Doubleheader for him today. 3rd earlier this afternoon in the truck. And holding his own here, only his 2nd career start in trouble. 2nd caution of the day. That's local driver Joey Gase, who's into the wall.
Man, a home game is so special. You talked about Michael Annett and how cool it would be for him to win here in Iowa. Joey Gase was a lap down running in 25th, and I think that's day-ending damage there.
That is some pretty heavy contact right there. As we see the spoiler completely knocked down on that race car, the deck lid is actually pushed up onto the rear glass there, so a hard hit for him.
2nd caution comes out with now 11 laps to go in the stage. I'm going to sell you on strategy one more time. I mean, I said it with 30 laps to go, and you guys waved me off. Now there's a chance that we could see some guys pitting, and here's another look at what happened to that 35. Vinnie Miller there as well in the 78.
Yeah, some hard contact for Vinnie Miller as well, and looked like it all happened getting into the corner right there, and just no way to save it. When you wreck getting into the corner at Iowa, you're not going to be able to stand on the gas and save it. He tried to do that, but it didn't work out for him, and heavy right front contact for Vinnie Miller.
Vinnie was probably blinded a bit by that smoke. There was a lot of smoke. That was a strange looking entry and wreck for Joey Gase. I don't know why he was locked up so early, but must have had some contact or something to go around like that.
Difficult start to the day for B.J. McLeod and his group. Ryan Ellis penalized on the initial start, and now damage for Vinnie Miller as he comes down pit road.
And he's got a brake issue there. I didn't see any oil leaking when Gase was against the wall. You know, it would have been a puddle of oil if there was an issue there, but looks like maybe a little bit of fluid on the entry, so that could have been part of the problem.
The 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup continues tomorrow on Fox and FS1. It's a full day of coverage beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time as China takes on Spain on FS1, while South Africa battles Germany on Fox. You can see all the games on Fox FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Here's what happened earlier today. The U.S. women go to 2-0 in group play. It wasn't 13-0, but another shutout, 3-0 over Chile. And Sweden a winner over Thailand 5-1. It'll be the U.S. and Sweden in that final group match later this week on Fox.
If you would have told me when this World Cup started the U.S. would have 16 goals, their opponents would have 0, I would think they'd be playing in the championship game. But we're only 2 games in right now. Absolutely phenomenal go at it by them so far.
Pit road is open, and they are going to take the opportunity to come down, Alan.
And Justin Allgaier will drive into his pit. He says he's just sliding too much through 3 and 4. Again, it's been a great beginning of the race so far, but he just needs to work on 3 and 4 to get better out there on the racetrack, Hermie.
Cole Custer's car will not rotate the center as good as he would like, and it's causing him to be free on exit. They'll try to make some adjustments with air pressure. Also, the 20 of Christopher Bell hits his pit stall. His car is a little bit lacking lateral grip and forward drive coming off the corner. It'll be a wedge adjustment in 4 tires for Christopher Bell.
Bell's got that #1 pit stall because he was the best qualifier from last week at Michigan that was competing this weekend. Paul Menard won the pole, but that 12th car didn't come here. It's Custer who wins the race off pit road. Bell goes in the wrong direction. Allgaier +1. Justin Haley stayed out. The restart when we return.
All tracks are a blast, but the mindset from going from a really big track to a small track like Iowa, you have to get almost way more aggressive than you are at the big tracks.
Joe Gibbs Racing at Iowa has a really good package, and they've had a lot of success there. So going into Iowa, we expect to win.
The aggressor has to come back a little bit when you go to short tracks. You want to try to go as much as you can.
Joe Gibbs Racing has won 4 of the last 6 races here. Going to have a little shootout to end the opening stage of the Iowa 250. We told you Justin Haley stayed out. 4 others did as well. Greg Alding, Chad Fincham, Josh Williams, Garrett Smithley. Custer, the first on new tires, will restart 6th here.
I don't think we're going to have a little shootout. I think we're going to have a big shootout. I mean, this is going to be pretty crazy with those guys up there on the older tires. We know fresh tires are so much faster, but the fact that Haley had 4 cars stay out behind him certainly opens the door for him to get out in that clean air and get this stage win.
When he looked in his mirror and saw those 4 cars, he was very happy because now that's going to give him that opportunity, as you just said, Michael, to potentially get this stage win and that playoff point that comes with it. And we see that he has selected the outside line as well. That's some more good news for him. He's going to be able to maybe get that good run off into turn 1. He's got to build a gap as quick as he can before that 0-0 if Cole Custer gets free of this traffic.
That number 0-0 will be coming like a bullet. It's going to be shot off into turn 1. You watch this.
Right behind him in the outside lane, Christopher Bell restarting 8. 4 to go. Stage 1 as we put the green flag back in the air. Custer and Bell to the middle. And Reddick off the pace, having problems coming to turn 2. I'd say it's a game, set, match. There goes the 0-0. 20 looking to get by Justin Haley as well. What's going on with Tyler Reddick, Alan?
They're just saying on the radio, look at the right rear, look at the right rear, potentially right rear flat. Now he's staying out there on the racetrack. We'll see what's going on with the 2 of Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, I think you stay out here and limp it home to the end of the stage. But at the front, Bell looking for the race lead as we come to 2 remaining.
Side by side, these guys they're getting after it right now. Fresh tires for both of them. They are not saving anything with these tires. They want the playoff point.
Look at that side draft. Christopher Bell leaning on Custer as they go down into turn 1, and he's going to clear him.
Bell out front for the first time. I thought we might get a crossover from Custer. Can he pull it off and get to the inside?
Tyler Reddick couldn't make it to the caution, so he'll go down a lap here, but have a chance to race back for it. Look at Custer.
1 to go. Bell leading.
Go where they're not. You want that clean air on your nose. That's what Cole Custer tried right there. Just didn't quite pay off on the exit of the corner.
Custer started on the pole, led the first 53 laps, but Bell able to get the lead on a restart. And for the 7th time this year, he is going to win a stage, picking up the first 60-lap run here at Iowa.
That was fun.
I love it.
We'll follow up on Tyler Reddick's situation. He has gone a lap down right now, scored in 27. Your stage 1 winner is Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick being scored 2 laps down in 27. Here's what happened on the restart.
Yeah, you can see the right rear just goes soft right away. Must have run something over, and there was no way to limp it to the stage end. I don't believe the carcass had already come off the tire. You can see that's what he got to the pit area on. No option there but to come pit.
You know, just a worst case scenario for him, and when that happened and how it took place, and nothing more he could do about that other than limp it back.
They've made their pit stop. What's the latest, Alan?
Well, you're looking at it right now. There was a puncture Goodyear officials are looking for. They're pointing it out right there. If you can see it on your screen, they believe that's what caused the tire to go down. They've got it in 2 pieces down here. Now they're just trying to regroup. They believe they're 2 laps down after not making the light when pitting.
We'll keep an eye on Reddick throughout the balance of the evening. Now let's talk to our stage 1 winner, Christopher Bell.
Well, Christopher Bell, this is Regan Smith in the FS1 booth. A wonderful finish to that stage for you, but it looked like you had a long-run car until you put those tires on. Now you got a short-run and a long-run car. How motivated are you for the rest of this race?
This will be a good one for us, man. I felt really good about that long run. Felt like we were making some time up on them, so hopefully we can hang on here.
All right, well, thanks for making that exciting there on that end of that stage. Best of luck for the rest of this race.
Thank you.
Mentioned earlier how good Joe Gibbs Racing has been at Iowa. Christopher Bell has won 4 of the last 7, including earlier this year when he won at Bristol and picked up a bonus $100,000 in the Dash for Cash. Final round coverage of the U.S. Open happening now over on Fox. Coming into this final day, Brooks Koepka in the hunt, going for his 3rd consecutive Open championship. Justin Rose with a strong finish to round 3. And Gary Woodland, the man everyone was chasing, entered the day 11 under, now got it to 13 under, 2 in front of Koepka. Rose is there, and Louis Oosthuizen at 9 under par.
Love that course, love that event. It's going to be a fun finish.
Tyler Reddick, 27, 2 laps down. Couldn't take the wave around because none of the leaders pitted. They had pitted there prior to the end of the first stage, so he's got a long way to go. Free pass went to Joe Graf Jr. He's gotten his service. Will restart 21st. And Justin Haley finished the stage in the 7th position. He pitted his 16th. And we did get word that they've given a right rear tire to the 2 teams, so that helps them in the long haul when it comes to their tire situation. Bell wins stage 1, takes the outside lane on the restart as we get going in our 2nd stage.
Nice launch there by Cole Custer, able to stay right alongside Christopher Bell.
Very impressive. He hasn't been on the bottom yet today. He's had that outside line on the restart, so he did a nice job of getting through that.
Look at Allgaier filling that hole that Custer left when he tried to get below Bell. They're going to go 3 wide.
Are there 3 lanes there?
There are, but
there might be through the middle of the corner, but when you get to the exit, not really.
Allgaier up to 2nd. That's Gregson in the 9, trying to get around Cole Custer. Harrison Burton is there. Zane Smith sticking his nose in the middle of it, right behind him. Cindric in the 22 making some noise.
There's those 3 lanes, Adam.
Very difficult for the driver, though. The spotter's got to be on top of it. We see how low Harrison Burton stayed coming off of the corner there. That was a good work by his spotter, Rick Corelli, of telling him there's 2 cars on the outside. It can be a little bit tricky there.
Looking at our top 10, a lot of young drivers there. First 2 short track races this year, Bristol and Richmond. Half of the top 10 in both of those races were rookies. 5 of the 10 were rookies. We're seeing that same thing develop here at Iowa.
You know, the late model racing these kids grew up doing, Canyon Series, some of them run, it just preps them to be ready for this challenge. And they're so impressive to watch, showing up at a very young age. Teenagers out there mixing it up with the veterans.
Allgaier, Custer going at it. Is this just the give and take on a restart when you have to go from the inside lane? Is that what we're seeing out of Custer here? Fall back only to drive around and get a position? That was tight.
Well, I think Custer right now is maybe wanting a little bit of an adjustment on that race car as well. Yes, some of that is the give and take, but he's also trying to figure out what he needs. Now that he's got the 20 car in front of him with Christopher Bell, he's trying to figure out what he needs to do and what Christopher Bell's car is doing better than his. He didn't have much of a chance to see that at the end of that stage a minute ago.
You know, I think it's interesting, this rivalry that's developing between Bell and Custer. They're the fastest 2 cars recently, and along with Tyler Reddick, obviously. Reddick seems to be not a part of the rivalry between those 2, but I think they really have each other in their sights, wanting to beat each other worse than they do anyone else.
Early second stage, problems for Noah Gregson. He's coming in, Hermie.
And Adam, all he said is it feels like something is broken on the right front. He mentioned it last time by, a tough break for the 9, but he'll come down pit road. They've got tires up on the wall, but first they will try to diagnose the problem, but something going on with the right front.
4th, 6th, and 2nd in their last 3 races, and running 4th today when they have to make an unscheduled pit stop in the early portion of stage number 2.
Oh, that's not good.
Here's a gaggle from 8th on back. Annette, Jones, Haley, and Briscoe. And that 11's fast.
Yeah. He ended up net 2 positions gained by that strategy, Adam. He finished 7th in the stage, got 2 more points. He was running in 9th, and then he fell back, but now already back into the 9th position. So this has been a good strategy call for the team, and he is willing that number 11 car. I just think I see him stick in the bottom better than any other car out there.
Well, and what I like about that call right there is see what it'll do for later in the race. See if your car can take that chance, and if you maybe had that play out with 10 laps to go in the race, what do you do right there? Can you stay out and make that work? And they know that now, and they know exactly what they would want to do in that scenario. So I'm okay with that move from the crew chief, Nick Harrison.
That's what I was going to say. At some point, you have to play the game early so you know what options are in front of you late. They've done it. No one else has put themselves in that position, and maybe they've got a baseline on how this thing will react should we have some strategy play out in that final stage.
I think that tells you how confident they are in that race car, too, as he's come from the back of the pack for that motor change. A lot of confidence to make a move like that early on.
You look at our top 3. They've won 6 of the last 7 short track races, 4 of them for that guy, Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell continues to lead the Iowa 250. Cole Custer second, Justin Allgaier, Harrison Burton, and Zane Smith the top 5. Bell also won our opening stage in a bizarre situation. While we were at break, Brandon Brown had made a couple of pit stops. The second time he came around, you saw smoke, and he eventually climbed from the race car.
He put this window net down immediately when he came down pit road, and something was going on inside of this car, and I think Ellen Cavana can tell us what it was.
Well, we don't know quite yet. We saw that smoke, some of the team down here thinking maybe he inhaled a lot of that smoke that was going up into the cockpit. Right now, he's being tended to on his way to infield care. They just got him some water. You can see they're trying to pack him with ice there. Right now, he's talking, he's alert. They're going to take him to the infield care center and see what they can do.
Well, that's the good news. He's awake and alert. You can tell he's warmed up pretty good. But when he first climbed from that race car, I was nervous for his condition. Now we get a follow-up on Noah Gregson, who had made that unscheduled pit stop, Hermie.
Yeah, loose wheel, and now the studs are stripped on the right front of the 9, or at least a couple of them are. You can see this was the first tire that came off the right front, and you can see these holes are supposed to be completely round, and they are not. So he started complaining a little bit about it, then he didn't mention it anymore, but this is the first tire that came off. The second one came off, was even worse, so I expect we'll see more issues with the right front of the 9 later today.
A lot of times they can put a wheel spacer on that right front or take one off, whatever the situation might be, so they can grab some threads with those lugs, but certainly going to make a long day for a really fast number 9 car. He had a great ride.
Disappointing for a team that's had some good momentum here, and you know, I think that you got to take the silver linings on things like this is try and get as many of those laps back as you can and at least learn something, because we do go back to Iowa very soon.
And another guy that's in the same situation is Tyler Reddick. He got down 2 laps, and he's trying to battle back from that as well. A lot of guys right now would love to see a caution. Maybe some of the leaders get to pit road and open up the playbook, give them a chance to use some strategy. There you see Reddick. Give him a chance to use some strategy to try to get back on the lead lap.
See, here he's 25th. He comes in 10 consecutive top 5 finishes. His 11 top 5s this year, more than any other driver has top 10s. It puts into perspective how good that team has been. Mention all the wins lately. Average finish so far in 2019, 3.9, but that'll take a big hit today.
Well, it's not over. He could use a couple of cautions, but he's still got a chance, running really well. You could see he was keeping up there with Chase Briscoe, who's currently riding 11th. This is a great story, isn't it, Adam? Zane Smith, the job he's doing behind Dale Jr.'s number 8 car.
Well, anybody that's been driving that 8 this year has found success, and I give a lot of credit to Taylor Moyer, but you said this earlier. Crew chief driver, neither one of them had any experience at Iowa before yesterday.
Well, we mentioned that Zane Smith only had 18 laps. Well, Taylor Moyer had about the same as a crew chief. Those 18 laps were his experience as a crew chief. He had been there before in a different series when the track had first opened, but a long time in between visits, and he was only a mechanic back then. So Taylor Moyer has been the one constant on that race car all year long. You got to really look at him and say he's been doing a very nice job for that team.
Christopher Bell drives around Joe Graff Jr. That puts Joe Graff Jr. a lap down in the 16th position. Solid run for the young racer. And there you see Cole Custer. He's 3 seconds behind C. Bell, and consistently Christopher has the fastest lap times.
Yeah, we speculated maybe earlier that Cole Custer caught the traffic, and maybe that's where he lost a little bit of his time. But we're seeing the opposite now. Christopher Bell is continuing to stretch the lead in traffic and really flexing some serious muscle right now.
Austin Cindric coming after Zane Smith here. Talked to Brian Wilson, crew chief for the 22 this morning. Felt confident in their race car. Said Cindric has adapted well to Iowa. Put him in the top 5. 25 laps to go. Stage 2. Bell, Custer, Allgaier, Burton, Cindric, your top 5. Let's go side by side from Iowa on FS1.
Beautiful scene and a terrific tribute. Things change. A driver, a team, a track, even a season. But the racing, that never changes. Big crash, turn 3. And they're wrecking. Checkers will wave for Brett Moffitt. NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
You want to know what resilient means? Ask the Astros and the Yankees, who find a way to win, no matter whose name is in the lineup.
Are you kidding?
One is led by the league's best third baseman, with a flair for the dramatic.
Alex Bregman! That man is red hot!
The other by a masked man, powering the next pinstripe generation.
Sanchez delivers!
Astros Yankees, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Not much here, except the usual.
What if we spice things up a bit? Alexa.
What if we turn it up a notch?
What if we go off the map?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
Right now at KFC, pick any 2 of these favorites for only $6. This tasty pair, $6. This tasty pair, $6. $11.95 for these. I'm just mashing your taters. $6. Mix and match any 2 for only $6 at KFC.
Beautiful but very warm Sunday afternoon.
Campgrounds are full. Happy race day, everybody. It's going to be a great afternoon for racing.
You can't ask for anything more special than what we have here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines!
Let the party begin.
Thanks to the military, the call for our freedom.
Our sport does it the best.
You're the ones that stand tall and protect us, and we can't thank you enough.
We will forever be in debt.
You talk to anyone in the Xfinity Series garage, and they'll tell you, we love coming to Iowa this time of year. Des Moines, such a great little city where many of the teams stay. And after rain and thunderstorms yesterday, it's been a perfect Father's Day for everybody here in Newton. 18 laps to go in our second stage, and it continues to be the Christopher Bell Show.
Stretch it out by 5 seconds now. That just tells you the strength of that 20 car. That's Josh Williams just up ahead in the 36, and he's the last car on the lead lap right now. I think he's maybe hoping for a bit of a caution right now.
No doubt.
He's going to need that caution because Christopher Bell is going to make short work of him in putting a lap down here.
You look at him, and right in front of him, Shane Lee, 14th. Debut for that race team who will run the rest of the races this year. Got Greg Galding up there in the top 15. There's Williams in the 36.
I'm impressed with Williams. He's doing a great job staying on the lead lap. Talked earlier, not only races, drives the car, he builds it.
And with 16 laps remaining in this stage, this is the race for 9th. So stage points on the line here.
You know, we learned a little bit about Justin Haley's car as we ride with him right now, and the fact that when he stayed out, he wasn't able to maintain that lead like we thought possibly might be worth seeing, as now we've got a battle with the 18 and 7 for third place.
Harrison Burton's doing a great job.
I'm loving it. Catching a lot of pressure over there racing those trucks and not being able to get to victory lane. He's showing them how to do it today, isn't he? Had a great run in the truck race earlier, too, as well, top 5.
And I got to clean something up. Earlier on one of the restarts, I thought maybe he got the wall, and it appears that he did not quite catch the wall the right side of that race car. So a nice save by him to keep it out of the wall and keep his day going cleanly.
What impresses me about Harrison in his 2 Xfinity starts this year, Bristol a couple of months ago, and what we've seen here this weekend, he's just staying within himself. He knows he's got a fast race car, but he's not overdoing it. He's letting the race come to him. Very impressive for a 19-year-old.
Just like a lot of these racers, there's a proud dad down there in that garage area watching his son move past Justin Allgaier into the 3rd position. Jeff Burton, NASCAR star, and now seeing his son being able to run up in the top 5. And heck, he might even have a chance to win this race. You get an adjustment, he could match pace with this 20 car.
That'd be a Father's Day Jeff Burton would never forget. Mentioned Shane Lee. Christopher Bell's put him a lap down. Going around Stephen Light, who's already a lap down. He puts him 2 laps in arrears and still almost 5 seconds in front of second place Cole Custer.
Yeah, as Bell works through this traffic, Regan, the lead is stabilized. Custer's even cut into it a bit, but I think that's just because of how hard these lappers want to race the leader to stay on the lead lap.
Well, and again, these guys know that it might be their race to stay on either 1 lap down or to not even lose a lap. It's very important for them to do that, and I think Hermie's got something for us on Cole Custer.
Yeah, Regan and Michael as well. How many times as a driver has this happened? When Cole Custer came prior to the last pit stop, he wanted to have more forward drive, needed to be able to put the throttle down better on the exit of the corners. Well, in doing that, now they've got the car too tight through the center of the corner. So in fixing one problem, they've created another problem. So they need to back off some of those adjustments when the 00 comes to pit road.
You know, we talked to crew chief Mike Shiplet earlier today. He said they were concerned about the forward drive with that race car. What that means is the ability to put the gas pedal down and have the car go forward and not slide the rear tires. But when you do get too tight in the middle of the corner, that compounds that problem on the exit. It makes it jump more sideways. We saw how much he had his hands full when he came off of turn 2 in that shot right there. We're seeing a great battle right now here with Michael Annett and John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, John Hunter's in the 7th position. Michael Annett and Brandon Jones are coming knocking. They want that position. Look at Brandon dive to the bottom.
He's done a good job this weekend. 6 last weekend at Michigan.
And that car's hooked up. That was a great turn for ran into that 19.
And we talk about that forward drive off of the corner. That's what was most impressive of that move. He makes that big move to the bottom, but still able to put the power down and pull even. And now we see 3 wide off of turn 2 with these guys.
I continue to be amazed at all the options these drivers have on this short little track. 8 to go.
Look at the speed of 9, Noah Gregson. He had that issue on pit road. He's 2 down, but wow, car's fast.
There's nothing worse as a driver than to be racing around cars that you know are running up in the top 10, and you're 2 laps down, and you know that your car's faster than them. All you can think about is what might be, and he's working hard to get those laps back.
Now they'll almost have to stay out here, I would think, Regan, and take a chance.
Really their only option. Him and Tyler Reddick both are going to have to stay out, and at some point you're going to have to risk it, and you don't know if you're going to get that opportunity the rest of the race, so now is the time to do that.
This race, though, does have a green flag feel. Only 3 cautions so far, one of those ending stage 1, so 2 for an incident. They came fairly early. And with that, and we've seen it happen here. You get to that final stage, you have a long green flag run, and that really hurts a guy like Noah Gregson or Tyler Reddick who had those issues and need cautions to cycle it through and play the game.
Something a little interesting here as we ride around with Justin Haley. We saw in turns 3 and 4, and even again in 1 and 2 right here, he is working. He's worked it up a little bit too far as he gets into the wall a little bit right there. I saw him do that in 3 and 4, and I thought, man, that's the first time I've seen cars up there all day long. The trouble with doing that is it's very dirty up there. If you get just 2 inches out of the groove, that pulls your car into the wall like we saw happen with him because of all that debris on the racetrack.
Stepping over the edge here, Michael.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he made any contact, but wow, up there in the loose marbles, and you can see he's just hanging on. Lost a lot of time on the track as you see Tyler Reddick go by, but keeping it out of the wall was a masterful job.
A heck of a save by him.
Cindric rallying late in the stage. 4 remaining, trying to get to the inside of Justin Allgaier.
And he does it. Or does he? Well, he got to the inside of him. He just couldn't get up in front of him. Allgaier pulls back alongside.
But maybe keep an eye on the 22 in the final stage because he's proving I'm good on the long run.
And we see a little damage to the right side of that 22. He has found that wall slightly, and you know what? These composite bodies on these, in contact there again. We're seeing all kinds of action. But these composite bodies on these cars allow these drivers to get into that wall just a little bit and not have to worry about fender rubs.
I don't think Justin Allgaier is going to appreciate that too much.
We just got put in the fence.
Yeah, that means he didn't appreciate it.
File that in the memory bank. We are at a short track.
Yeah, and that'll damage that left front fender, and he needs that fender for downforce on that front end.
The fenders are very critical on the front of those race cars, and he got the left front and the right rear as well. I don't think the right rear is as concerning, like you said, Michael, as that left front is.
Going to be 1 to go in stage 2, this time for Christopher Bell.
Great run for Jeremy Clements. He's 12th. He just fell a lap down to Bell. If he can hang right there, he'll get the free pass and back on the lead lap. Good strong run for the 51 team.
Outstanding. Christopher Bell going to sweep stages 1 and 2. He did that at Atlanta. Do you remember the result on that Saturday afternoon in Hampton, Georgia?
Went to victory lane.
Yes, he did. What a day for Bell. He has now led 62 of our 120 laps, and he's adding up those playoff points. Now 8 stage wins in 2019 for the driver out of Norman, Oklahoma. The 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup continues Thursday on Fox. After another dominating win, Alex Morgan and the U.S. take on Sweden in a highly anticipated showdown. Coverage begins 2 Eastern on Fox, and all matches are live on Fox and FS1 and the Fox Sports app. U.S. women now 2-0 in Group play, a shutout of Chile 3-0 earlier this afternoon.
16 goals.
In 2 matches.
And the other teams have none. That's domination. A lot like Christopher Bell's run today so far. 2 stage wins to none.
How cool is it to see Jeremy Clements is outside knowing he's going to get the free pass here, back on the lead lap, and that team is 12th right now. Leaders making pit stops. Bell, the first one in. Hermie, what's up?
Well, Cole Custer will be hitting his pit stall first on this end of pit road. His car is too loose on landing. They're going to put 4 tires, fuel, and wedge in the right rear to try to help that situation. The 18 of Harrison Burton, great run for him. He's tight rolling the center, loose on throttle. They're going to try to fix that with air pressure in 4 tires. Also, the 20, Christopher Bell. He likes the balance of his car, although they do make a little bit of a wedge adjustment. He also ran the bottom of the racetrack the last couple laps. Once he got the lead, in case he needed that line for later.
No contest coming off pit road. It's Bell, then Custer. And then Austin Cindric, who gained a position and had a really strong finish to that second stage, Michael.
Let's see if we can get a word with them. Austin Cindric, Michael Waltrip, and the Fox Boys. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, 10-4.
Well, it's been fun watching that 22 roll today. You've got some good moves up through traffic. How's the car handling, and do you have anything for Christopher Bell? Did you make an adjustment there that maybe you can catch up to that 20 car?
He's pretty good, isn't he? We'll see here. This is the best track position we have out all day, so thanks to my pit crew on that job. You know, I think we have a really fast Norris Ford Mustang, and we made the right adjustments in practice to help ourselves out at this point in the race, and this is where you got to make the money. So I'm excited. Happy Father's Day to everyone. This is the last chance to get to talk to you, but hopefully I can see you guys later.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. You scuffed up your right side a little bit there. No problem, though. It looks pretty good from this angle.
Yeah, it's in for hard racing. I probably owe Justin dinner after that one, but we've been racing each other pretty hard today, so have a lot of fun, and this place is awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying the race.
We sure are, man. Thank you for your time.
What do you think? Does he owe him dinner?
I think so.
I think it should be
right
really
now
nice
he does.
restaurant.
I hope it ends like that.
There might be a conversation when this race is over between the two. Top 3 off pit road ending stage 2. Bell, Custer, and Cindric. Best stop for Christopher Bell's team at 13.8. That's impressive when you consider they don't have their full complement of over-the-wall guys on this standalone weekend. Some other things we should tell you. Mentioned Jeremy Clements got the free pass. Wave around for Noah Gragson and Tyler Reddick. They are now 1 lap down, scored 20th and 21st respectively. Bell goes outside lane. It's the final stage at Iowa. Let's crank it up on Father's Day.
Green flag.
You got the help.
2 wide all the way back. Still 2 wide all the way back.
High side.
Seven's in your lane. Looking high on you now. Outside. Outside.
All right, focus now. You'll drive right by these two. No big deal. Still inside. Still down bottom. Still down there. Quarter clear.
Closing on 100 laps to go in the Iowa 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We heard from Austin Cindric, restarted in the top 5. 7th is where he is as things settle out following the restart. And he's got company from John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, he started on the bottom, Adam, and just didn't go. Lost a lot of that ground he had made up in that long run. So looks like it's a bit of a penalty to start down on the bottom, and he's paying it right now.
If you can't clear them when you come off a turn 2 and get an opening to get up there, it definitely can it can cause a problem to lose multiple positions as we ride along with Justin Haley again here. And he's had an exciting day, still in 10th place and very tight off of the corner right there with Brandon Jones. I wasn't sure if Brandon knew he was out there.
You know, Regan, you talked about that exit to turn 2. You sort of run up out of the hole on the turn, and then the straightaway flattens out and almost just ramps you onto the back, and those two nearly came together right there.
And the race cars get very light when that happens. It's weird to be pointed straight with a car and have a car get that light on off of a corner.
This for 3rd, green and white. 00 is Cole Custer. Bright orange, number 7, Justin Allgaier.
That's a nice move for Cole. You can see he's able to clear Allgaier, pull up. Usually you have to cut a guy off to make that pass. He was able to do it cleanly.
Well, we saw on the Crank It Up that Cole Custer also, as we talk about starting on the bottom, he had to start on the bottom, and he was not able to get up, and he lost 2 spots coming off in turn 4 because of that momentum loss. Zane Smith got by him as well. Zane Smith up to 2nd right now and doing a nice job on that restart.
I'm going to be interested to watch this 00 car during this stint because we know he needed a chassis adjustment. The work they did earlier did not work. So will that car get better and better because Michael Shiplett's so smart. These guys work so well together. He's got a car that he's battling, though. It's not handling great.
We see right there, that is what you call loose on entry, and he had his hands full for a minute there. There's a lot of bumps down there in turn 1 on the entry. Depending on how you hit those entry bumps, it can really affect that race car, especially when you're running up top. And then that sets you up for the bumps that are in the middle of the corner that are by where the tunnel is built at the racetrack. If you don't hit the middle bumps just right, it can also make your car either go extremely tight or loose depending on how much steering wheel you have put to that car.
Just behind them, there he is, Harrison Burton, knocking on the door. Look at the distance from Bell, who's leading. And how much is 2.4 seconds? It's that much. And it's Zane Smith in the runner-up position. You mentioned how good he was on the restart. You know, 3 drivers had picked up their first career win at Iowa. The last one to do it, a youngster for Junior Motorsports. Zane has really been outstanding.
He would love nothing more than to duplicate that feat that happened, I believe, William Byron a couple years ago. We were doing that race together.
We were. So here's a reminder of who Zane Smith is, making his 5th career start today in the Xfinity Series. And it all started when he was just a little guy, Michael.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, a kid that's collecting trophies and racing. And, man, ever since I've heard of him for seems like years, and he's, 20 years old. That's how talented the young racer is.
And his girlfriend, Gray Galding's sister. Do you think there would be some trash talk when this race is over if he was able to go get that checkered flag?
Well, Gray Galding's currently in the 13th position, and he's in the free pass position, so Gray's having a good run again today. He just needs that caution flag to fly.
Did you see Custer there? Oh, my goodness. He had a big wiggle off of 4.
And he had caught Zane Smith, too. Was all over his bumper, and thing got loose with him.
Is that aero related when he gets up on the bumper or no?
I think it's bump related. It's certainly aero.
I would have to say that was not aero in that particular situation. He just had that car jump out from underneath, and we've watched him fight that car in turn 1 quite a bit here already, and clearly had the same issue happen in turn 3. Probably still needs another adjustment on this to get it like he would like.
They made progress, but I think you could give aero assist. You hit a bump and you don't have all the downforce because you're right on another guy. Certainly makes it more challenging.
Brandon Brown out of the Infield Care Center, Alan.
Yeah, it's good to see him down here at his hauler. Some scary moments there. What happened in the car?
Just the motor let go, and when that happened, it just kind of filled the car with a little bit of exhaust, and that exhaust triggered some pretty heavy popping, and it got hard to see, so at that point you just got to kind of pull it in. But the entire Brandonville Motorsports crew did everything right this weekend. We had a Vero True Social Fast Chevy Camaro, and it showed qualifying. It felt like I had good speed in the race, but just the motor let go, so it's a bummer.
Most important thing is that he's okay, guys.
No doubt about it, Alan. 18 and 7. I'm a big numbers guy. 8 minus 1 is 7. I feel like Allgaier Burton have been connected all afternoon.
Well, the Deuces are going to get ready to join him here. As you can see, a really fast 22 car from Austin Cindric has been able to gain right up on these guys after that rough restart.
You know, I don't think we can overlook the fact either that Harrison Burton ran that truck race just a couple of hours ago. He really knows this racetrack as good as anybody right now. The same tires, so he knows how the car is going to transition as the runs go on. It'll be interesting to see if we get a very long run right here, what takes place for him.
Well, Cole Custer's recovered from that near spin and is caught back to Zane Smith. And look, car looks like it's working a little bit better. Still loose off, but man, to be able to make that turn and gain on the 8 like he did and now drive hard into the corner, take that position away. I like the way this car is looking. I think he could possibly be one adjustment away for knocking on Christopher Bell's back bumper.
Well, normally you'd be a little concerned about those slides that are happening in and out of the corner, but I spoke with Cole earlier today, and he said this tire is very durable on the right side. Maybe a little concern on the left rear tire if you wear that one out too much, but the right side tires, you didn't have a lot of concern for what would happen, and clearly he's getting after it with his race car all the way through the corner.
These teams are going to have to make at least one more pit stop. Well, we know they're going to come one more time. And with 100 to go, they're right around their window should the caution come out. But they have 2 sets of tires left. So the cautions will dictate what happens here. And likely Custer going to need a caution if he's going to get back in.
24.87.
Wow. 24.87 for the 00 of Cole Custer once he cleared Zane Smith. That's 3/10 faster than Christopher Bell. I think they've got that car hooked up.
So you're saying maybe he doesn't need a caution to run him down. 3.5 seconds behind, 99 laps to go. We're in corn country. Hard to believe we're only 8 months away from the 2020 running of the Daytona 500. It's the 62nd annual Great American Race. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to 1-800-PIT-SHOP, give them a call, or Daytona500.com. There's our race leader at Iowa with 91 to go. He's in front of Cole Custer, who's been strong today. The duo is combined to lead 154 of 159 laps, and they headline our big 3 plus Tyler Reddick. What a trio.
You know, all 3 of these guys have had absolutely amazing seasons. Look at that line for Tyler Reddick. I mean, that is almost perfection when we talk motorsports. Just a great season, and the rest of these guys as well. With the wins and what they've done this year, you can't say enough about how talented these 3 race car drivers are.
That's fun to watch, too. Graphing their season out right there and seeing 3 wins for each of them.
And Reddick in jeopardy of seeing his top 5 streak end here today. They had an unscheduled pit stop. He's worked his way to 1 lap down, but he had to take the wave around to do it. Last pitted at lap 63. He's going to have to make a stop pretty soon under green. And if that happens, he's going to be out of the game today.
Yeah, and it's going to come within the next 10 laps or so, Adam, I believe. And the only way that he could be saved from ending his day is if the leaders then have to pit under green as well. He will be making up a lot of time on them while he has those fresh tires on, but it almost has to play out perfectly for him to have a chance.
And you can see he's about to go 2 laps down. Bell is right on his back bumper. Looks like he might be coming this time, Alan.
Yeah, and admittedly, the strategy was a gamble, but like they said, they had nothing to lose. That's why they stayed out to get to 1 lap down, but now they're coming because, frankly, they just have to put tires on the thing. And, again, the gamble didn't pay off quite yet. Trying to extend that top 5 streak doesn't look like it's going to happen today in Iowa.
87 to go. They're in their window. They can go the distance from here.
And the leaders have to pit. So producer Pam said, don't ever count out Tyler Reddick. And I agree. He's tough. And if the caution flag flies after the leaders pit, he's right back in this thing.
I was going to say, there are some scenarios. It's going to be a tight window that it's all got to happen within, but there are some scenarios that could get him back into this race still.
I don't know. He's 3 laps down, and we got 86 to go. If you guys want to put a little money on this, I'm up for it. I love Tyler Reddick. I celebrate him every week. But I've seen how fast Christopher Bell is today and the position Reddick is in. If he comes back out of this, just go ahead and give him his 2nd consecutive championship.
Didn't say he was going to come back to win the race, Adam. I said he could get back in the race.
Okay, let's change the subject. Here we are for 7th, Nemechek and Haley.
That's where we've seen Haley make such great moves all day long, right down on the bottom of the racetrack. Able to cut that corner tight.
Has anybody made more passes than Justin Haley today? I swear, every time we've looked at him, he's been 2 or 3 wide, passing cars, working hard. I am so glad that he is wearing our visor cam in that race car today.
And if you're watching at home, his shocks are hooked up. That's just how bumpy and bouncy it is here at Iowa Speedway. Fighting the lack of traction, as you see, exiting up off turn 4 here.
Whatever you need down there, bud. It's all clear.
Definitely impressive, as committed as he's been to the bottom of that racetrack and trying to make that work. You can't complete a pass if you're following somebody, so you got to move around to try and make that happen, and he's certainly doing that.
Allgaier has been able to get away from Harrison Burton. So here comes Austin Cindric.
And he is coming. That car is really strong on the long run. And when he gets around Burton, and I think it's just a matter of time until he does, he's going to go see his old friend Justin Allgaier again.
I am really pulling for that to happen too, because they were not very pleased with each other after things happened at the end of stage 2 there. I know Justin Allgaier was just a little bit fired up, and probably not going to be the easiest pass that Austin Cindric makes if he does get to him.
If Allgaier finishes in front of Cindric, does Cindric still have to buy Allgaier dinner? How does that work? What's driver code there?
Let me just tell you, as it stands right now, yes, he still owes him dinner.
If I had to buy somebody dinner every time I ran him into the wall, I'd probably be broke right now. So I'm glad that didn't stand back in the day.
Wow, look at this 11 car. See how low he is? We haven't seen anyone down there, and he's going to make it work, I'm sure. I like this car.
I just think about all the difficult circumstances that Haley has been in throughout his rookie season. Go back to Charlotte when they had the qualifying problems. Comes from the back there. Ends up finishing inside the top 5. And this has been a spirited battle between the 2 young, talented guys.
Went for the slide job and
crossover,
swap it over here. This is fun.
I think this time Justin Haley had position getting into the corner. That's the key to completing that pass. It took him a long time and a lot of work in the driver's seat. That was very good patience right there by a rookie driver to figure out how to complete that pass.
And you know, you got to move Justin Haley up into the conversation to win him one of these races. I mean, he's proven over the last few months that he's getting the hang of this thing.
Xfinity teams off next week. Then it's Chicago. And then it's Daytona, where Haley nearly did, some would say he did get it done a year ago.
On a special night, former champion Jermell Charlo
Big right hand
takes on the dangerous Jorge Cota.
I think this is going to be a war. They're going to be going after each other.
One corner fights to prove a point.
Just get my belts back, get all the belts.
The other looks to shock the world.
We've got a great fight.
Charlo versus Cota on a special night next Sunday at 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I know we're racing tonight, but we're racing for them.
We do it the best. Our sport does it the best.
Thanks for the military. The call for freedom.
Freedom is one of the reasons why people like myself are in this country.
You see different branches of the military represented at our races. I always love going up to them and telling them, you know, you're my hero.
You're the ones that stand tall and protect us, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will forever be in debt.
On to the next job, the next challenge, the next place, on to the next level, and all the rewards that come with it. The all-new Ram 1500. Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year. Everything you need to get on to bigger things.
Now during Ram Truck Month, get 20% off MSRP on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
NASCAR fans, are you ready to take your Wi-Fi to the next level? Then you need Xfinity XFi, a more powerful way to stay connected. It gives you super fast speeds for all your devices. Wi-Fi coverage that leaves no room behind, and lets you control your network with the XFi app. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Xfinity, official partner of NASCAR.
Welcome to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
The star shines bright.
And it is all on display tonight.
As the best in the majors come together to celebrate the Midsummer Classic.
All right, let's do this.
Xfinity All-Star Game, sponsored by MasterCard, July 9th on Fox.
You can't ask for anything more special than what we have here tonight.
It's going to be a great afternoon for racing.
Oh, perfect.
You saw it in side by side. The 7 and 22 dueling again. Give it to Austin Cindric, and the caution is out. It's our 5th one of the day in the Iowa 250 with 72 laps to go.
And the two guys that did not want to see this caution right now, Tyler Reddick and Noah Gragson, a tough break for those guys, having to already stop under the green flag, and they're going to lose a couple more laps because of it now.
Tyler Matthews, the reason for the caution, driving the 15 for JD Motorsports. Bell had an enormous advantage over Cole Custer. That will disappear. And there's Matthews in the 15. Get what will likely be our final pit stop of the day. 12 cars on the lead lap. First car 2 laps down will get the free pass. That's Greg Alding. No one in the 1 lap down situation here.
This will open up the window for Reddick and Gragson both to take the wave around and get to 2 down, and there's no one 1 down. I'm not going to count him out yet. How about that?
You mentioned Tyler Reddick, Noah Gragson, and they're 2 drivers we thought would be a big part of the conversation, and they have been, but for all the wrong reasons, Michael.
Yeah, loose wheel on the right front there. You see the teams checking it out because Gragson came on the radio and said something's broke on the right front. It was actually a loose wheel. They've been able to recover from that, showing good speed in the car, and then just a flat tire for Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick on the restart immediately when he went to the gas pedal. That right rear tire was down. He had to limp it around and tried to make it to that stage break, but just couldn't quite do it. Had to pit.
Biggest problem for both of them is you look at the best average finish numbers through 13 races. It puts into perspective how good Tyler Reddick has been. But the big disappointment for those guys, at the end of that stage, all the leaders had pitted, and so when they didn't come down, when that next caution came out, that meant no wave around opportunities, and that's what really hurt the opportunity for advancement when it comes to Tyler Reddick and Noah Gragson.
Cool seeing Sam Mard's name there. When I was a kid in 1984, he was one of my favorite Xfinity drivers, and just so fast, and you could see the average finishes there.
Pit road is open, and look at that advantage for Bell, who comes down. Alan, you're up first.
And we're waiting on the 8, the top of your screen, Zane Smith. Remember, he hasn't been in the car since Dover in May. This is only his 5th career Xfinity start, but he is having a great run. The team has made great adjustments all day. He fired off that last restart great. He wants some more of that to keep going for the end of this race. Hermie?
Alan, the 0-0 of Cole Custer is really loose all the way through the corner, but mostly on exit. They're going to try to fix it with air pressure, 4 tires and fuel. The 20 of Christopher Bell, they like the balance of their race car. 4 tires and fuel for Christopher Bell. Big lead off pit road.
2 short track races this year. The first one by Christopher Bell, the second for Cole Custer. They exit pit road here with 4 fresh tires in the first and second position, and it likely will be those 2 drivers that determine who wins our 3rd short track race of 2019.
It's watching Austin Cindric roll off pit road. He was side by side with Allgaier, and I wondered if perhaps maybe he lets Allgaier roll ahead so he would maybe start on the outside. That didn't happen. So that'll be restarting in a 3rd position, and we've seen that bottom be a bit of a disadvantage today. So you know how sometimes the drivers will play games over there at pit out, trying to position themselves on the outside or the preferred lane.
Such a challenge doing that as well, and you never know who else is going to stay out, what the scenarios are within the field when you do try to do that. It gets a little tricky for the drivers and the spotters to really figure all that different equation out as you're coming off the end of pit road. Something I did notice there, as we watched Christopher Bell come down pit road, and Adam, you noted how big of a gap he had to the 2nd place car. That's a big deal because the team knows that as well, and they know that if he hits pit road with a 2 or 3 second advantage as he's coming down pit road, that takes the pressure off of that pit crew. They can be smooth, make sure they get the lug nuts tight. They know there's not going to be a battle and that they just have to do their job smoothly instead of having that perfect pit stop.
And they've done their job today. And let's go back here to the exit on pit lane. for the 22 and 7. Here's what you're talking about.
Oh, and it looked like Cindric did try to slow down and let Allgaier go by, and Justin said, not going to do it. I'm going to stay right here.
It almost cost both of them the back bumper of their race car, too, which I know Cindric's has been hit already a number of times, but Allgaier almost lost his as well.
Yeah, I figured there was some games being played over there. That outside lane is valuable.
But we mentioned all the success for the 20 pit crew today, and I think once he got the lead and took control of this race, that's been the difference, because he's manipulating the restart every time, and the 00 has to restart on the bottom. I mean, all things equal, success for Christopher Bell and his group.
Well, and he's driving away from him, too. That's really helping him as well.
Cindric going to restart third here. He's had some great leadership this year from his crew chief, Brian Wilson. You know, you look at Team Penske, and this is a group that's been a part of championship runs on the owner side. Now you bring in Austin Cindric as a full-time driver, and really Brian Wilson has been a difference maker in his career, Alan.
And we're on top of the box right now with Brian Wilson. You've had some great long run speed the past 2 restarts. What do you have for a short run with only 67 laps left?
I can barely hear you right there, but I think you were asking about long run versus short run. That's the same thing I just asked Austin about. He needs to keep that in mind. If we get a short run, what do we need? Obviously, we need to have this thing go long, because I think that's where our strength is at.
Austin Cindric trying to get his first Xfinity Series victory.
This is when the intensity picks up. You know, you can see the checker flag. You know, you might have your last set of tires on. What do you do here? How aggressive do you get on trying to close the door? We've seen the slide job. We've seen guys get squeezed into the wall. We're going to see more of that now.
You have to be very aggressive on this restart. If there's a hole, you've got to go for it. But let's not forget, a number of these guys aren't working with their typical spotters or their normal spotters. So what one spotter thinks is clear might be just a little bit different to another spotter. And that driver, that communication can be a little different.
We've added a lap, so it'll be 64 to go when we return to the green flag. And tomorrow, a special edition of NASCAR Race Hub at 6 Eastern Time.
It has been unbelievable to be a part of the greatest race team in the history of NASCAR.
Y'all remember this story?
I do.
To work that hard and to devote everything you had to it, you had to win.
We didn't realize at the time we were making history. We did it, we did it, we did it, and we did it together.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Through all the ups and downs of racing, that's why RCR's here for 50 years. Everybody's had each other's back. It's been a family.
So many good stories. Hear them from the floor of the RCR Museum at 6 Eastern tomorrow on NASCAR Race Hub. And when you look at the 2-car in the Xfinity Series, oh, it's a long line of success for Richard Childress Racing.
Well, and you've got to certainly add that name of Tyler Reddick to that line of success. He's been doing a very nice job in that race car. And, man, we'll have to see if he can get back into this race. We keep talking about it.
This could be the final restart. Although, 5 cautions today, I say we'll get a couple of more. We'll see how it plays out. Bell jumping once again outside of Cole Custer.
Another nice job by Cole Custer getting that race car going. And there we talk about that brief moment where he could get up off of turn 2. He took it, and that's going to be a big deal as this run plays out for him if he can keep up with Christopher Bell or not.
We talked about that inside lane. Nice job for Custer, but you see stuck back and forth now. Austin Cindric lost a little ground. He'll have to try to rally on the high side.
And Zane Smith working him over in the 8th. And right behind him, 98 of Chase Briscoe. Final stage, and here he comes again. It's every week, although maybe a bit of a kiss of the wall coming off of turn 2.
That team just finds a way to show up at the end of these events. And we scratch our head every week and we say, wow, where did he come from? And it keeps doing it, race after race.
The old bottom beater, Justin Haley, really wrapping around the bottom. If he can make that work, charge up toward that top 5. Lost a little ground there off 2.
Yeah, Carter was outside. He couldn't use the entire amount of the racetrack to really get up to the wall there. That is the problem. It breaks just enough of that momentum to where they can keep getting cars to your outside.
Burton had a handful there, didn't he?
That's because John Hunter had him lifted up off the ground, I think. Another example of a slide job that barely worked. Look how deep John Hunter drives down into turn 3, trying to get alongside the 18 of Harrison Burton. Not going to happen.
5 of the top 10 are rookies. One of those, Harrison Burton, who restarted 9th, finds himself 6th.
How consistent of a theme is that? Not only Harrison Burton's performance today, but the rookies being a big part of our top 10.
Every short track race this year they have been, as we talked earlier.
Whoa. Briscoe almost into the wall.
He's doing everything he can to stay up with you.
Justin Haley and John Hunter Nemechek still racing side by side with each other. It's got to be going on about 200 laps that we've seen that, it feels like, between those two race cars.
I don't know where Haley's going to end up, but if it's anywhere inside the top 10, he will have earned it.
Go get him. That's what he's been doing all day long.
See the numbers there. Started 38. Scored points in both stages. Riding 9th right now.
Be nice if you could just match that throttle like when you're down in the center of the corner, but that's not the case here at Iowa. You really have to squeeze it down, sometimes let off. Listen.
Here's just a little bit of contact there. It might have been over the bumps, possibly the side skirts or something like that. Michael Annett, a local Iowa driver, battling hard with Brandon Jones right now.
Is he an Iowanian?
I think that's what you would say, right? Sort of.
I wouldn't leave it up. I wouldn't leave it up to us too.
Maybe an Iowan. We should go with that.
Yeah, he's an Iowan.
You just added too many vowels in there, Michael.
Yeah, I got a little aggressive. But he's had a great run, as has Brandon Jones. Both those cars right around the top 10 all day long. And you mentioned it earlier, Adam. Jones was strong last week as well, so this team's heading in a good direction.
Well, that's what they've needed. And Xfinity team's off next week before getting on a long run that begins at Chicagoland Speedway in 2 weeks' time. There, Daytona, Kentucky, New Hampshire. That's what's coming up as the summer continues.
Watching this great battle here for the 9th position, because Christopher Bell is doing what he's done all day long and driving away from the field. Now this time, Bell's just about a half a tenth of a second is all better than Custer. Custer's matching his lap times closer than he has all day long. Maybe this adjustment will allow Custer to stay close, stay in contact with Bell early in the run, and then he'll have a strong long-run car as we go toward the checker.
You know, 2 pit stops ago when Christopher Bell was on pit road, we heard Hermie Sadler talk about he ran the bottom the last 2 laps of that run. That was a veteran move by him. He ran the bottom to understand what his race car was going to do in case he needed to make an adjustment. If we do get a late race pit stop and he thinks he's going to have to be on the bottom to win the race, that's something that takes experience, and that shows you how far Christopher Bell has come. And, you know, we talk about the potential that he's ready to be in a Cup car. Moves like that definitely allow crew chiefs, car owners, people like that to know he's getting very close to being ready if he isn't already.
He's led 140 laps today. Was out front for almost 100 circuits when he won here in July. And would you believe, making his 4th Iowa start, he's already 3rd on the laps led list here.
That doesn't surprise me in the least. This kid's special.
Cole Custer, we've talked about how loose that race car is, and we see it get loose again right there in the middle of the corner. I think from his perspective, what he'd like to see happen right here, he's managed to stay within a 1.5 seconds right now of the leader of Christopher Bell. What he's going to want is a long run, because typically if you have a loose race car, that long run allows the right front tire to heat up just a little bit. That race car will get tighter as the runs go on, but your competitor's race car will also get tighter. That could give him the opportunity to maybe catch up as this run gets down to the last 10 laps or so.
And we're not selling blue sky here. We believe that Cole Custer has stayed in contact enough with the 20 of Bell that he could run him down late.
What's up with that 18 right now, Hermie?
We mentioned a couple of times how good the 20 team has been on pit road. A little bit opposite for his teammate, the 18 of Harrison Burton. They've got a little bit of a mismatched pit crew on pit road. They hadn't really made any mistakes per se. Just been a little bit off on their stops, and they've lost 1 or 2 spots each time to pit road. But to Harrison Burton's credit, he hadn't said a word. He's got back on the racetrack, put the hammer down, and tried to pass cars back. But a little bit better stops on pit road. The 18 could very well be up there in the top 2 or 3, fighting for that victory.
You know, Harmony, 2 things that really dictate success in NASCAR: what you do on pit road and where you line up on restarts. Right now, Christopher Bell dominating in Iowa as we go side by side.
Welcome to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The star shines bright. And it is all on display tonight. As the best in the majors come together to celebrate the Midsummer Classic. All right, let's do this. They're going crazy at Progressive Field. The MLB All-Star Game, sponsored by MasterCard. July 9th on Fox.
On July 6th, gather your family and friends for summer's biggest celebration. A celebration of speed. A celebration of freedom. And a celebration to remember. It's the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona. Adult tickets start at $49, kids $20. Lock in your seats at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Geico has over 75 years of savings and service.
Whoa. Travis and AT made it. It's amazing.
Geico
Oh, is that Travis's app? It's pretty cool, isn't it? There's 2 of them. They're multiplying.
Geico has over 75
Oh, guys, it's me.
savings and
See?
service.
No, I'm real. I'm real.
He thinks he's real.
Geico. Over 75 years of savings and service.
Tracker Boats. They're the world's #1 selling fishing boats for some powerful reasons. Check them out at your nearest Tracker Boats dealer, and you'll see why. Tracker's Revolution hull offers a ride so smooth, it's guaranteed. And Tracker Boats are backed by the best factory warranty in aluminum boats, well equipped and ready to fish. Now get a $1,000 gift card with purchase of a Tracker Pro Team 175 TXW at select Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and other fine dealers.
I know we're racing tonight, but we're racing for them.
We do it the best. Our sport does it the best.
Thanks for the military. The call for freedom.
Freedom is one of the reasons why people like myself are in this country.
You see different branches of the military represented at our races. I always love going up to them and telling them, you're my hero.
You're the ones that stand tall and protect us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will forever be in debt.
Christopher Bell leading with 41 to go at Iowa and trying to add to what has already been an impressive 2019. 3 wins, Atlanta, Bristol, and Dover. You see all the top 5s. That average finish inside the top 10, and today's 2 stage victories gives him 8 on the year. He's piling up the playoff points and putting himself in position for a return trip to Miami.
I just feel like every week the big 3, as we talk about them, they keep one-upping each other. One wins, then the next week another one goes out and wins. And that is what I love about these guys and how they've raced with each other this year. They're pushing each other to continually get better.
Here's Chase Briscoe, 7th right now, Hermie.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty consistent car, but he's been loose on entry, loose on exit. The problem for him has been as long as he's been able to run his line on the racetrack, he's made pretty good speed. The problem when he tries to move to the middle, to the bottom to make a pass, the car is just too loose for him to hold the throttle down coming off the corner to complete a pass. So it's been a solid day for the 98, but needed a little more lateral grip to be able to complete the passes he would have needed to get a little closer to the front.
It
And Regan, explain how frustrating it is when you're that close. I mean, you can run within a couple of tenths of the leader, but you just see him just stretching it away. These guys are all watching that today out of Christopher Bell, but Chase Briscoe's got a car he thinks he can run the top 5 with, just not quite.
Well, from Chase's perspective, the frustration is you can catch a car in front of you, and you feel like you're faster when you get there. And then you get there and you can't go to a different lane to make anything happen with that. And we've seen some guys that can move around and really make those passes happen today. You watch another car do that, you want your car to do that, you just can't quite make it happen.
I think that 98 team, though, going to be one to watch as we go throughout the summer. They've laid the foundation first half of the regular season, getting better and better. They never hurt themselves, right? They always stay in front of it. If they can take the next step, that could be the one we're talking about in the playoffs that has a real chance. And let's not forget, one career win, it came in a playoff race in the Roval last year. So that kind of sets them up for some real potential, maybe a deep run in the postseason.
Well, and what I love about Chase Briscoe is the fact that he has finished races, and he's been there at the end of races. And that's something that that you have to be able to do as we get into the playoff time. So even if the car's not as good as you want, as we see a very good battle with him and John Hunter Nemechek right now, but when you get into the playoffs, you're going to have to find a way to finish races, and we got a caution on the track.
35 laps remaining. Caution is out for the 6th time today. Cole Custer says, thank you very much.
Looks like he's been in the wall, Adam.
Yeah, he has hit the wall. Just when I thought he was ready to celebrate the caution. There it is right there.
See, he just jumps just a little bit over the cushion there, and unfortunately, that didn't work out well for him.
But how much damage you think
probably
there?
Fix 3/4 of the problem there. I just need more. I mean, you can maybe try and help the center a little bit, but the loose is still the biggest problem for sure.
And you know, guys, it's been that way all day long. We've seen that car hung out. No damage to that car there. That was just a scrape into the wall. The caution we talked about, we thought that they improved the 0-0. He agreed that they improved it. Now they're trying to make that final adjustment on this last stop.
12 cars on the lead lap. Greg Galding, the first car, 1 lap down. In fact, the only car 1 lap down. He got the free pass on our last caution to go from 2 down to 1 down, so he'll be back on the lead lap. And let's celebrate Jeremy Clements, 11th right now, as we have just over 30 laps to go.
Well, while we're celebrating, can we celebrate Josh Williams too? Top 15. We see a lot of underdogs really stepping up today.
Looks like we don't have any damage here, so we'll just change.
Along with Joe Graff Jr. Top 20 run, 16th. That's a good run for that kid.
You heard Mike Shiplet say there, we don't have any damage here, so let's pit. And this is all what looked to be a potential disastrous situation could work out really well for Cole Custer and his team.
Played out nicely, and I have to assume we'll see all of the leaders hit pit road to take that final set of tires that they have left right here with just a little bit over 30 laps to go in this race. That also, let's not forget, helps out Tyler Reddick, gets him back to 1 lap down again.
Tyler back in the 18th position.
You're still not buying though, right?
I'm not buying, but I appreciate you selling. Final pit stops of the day. Last set of tires. Here they are, Alan.
And waiting on Justin Allgaier in the 7 car. He said it was the best run they've had all day, the one we just saw. He didn't lose much ground, stayed there in 3rd. Still says he's a little tight. Look for 4 tires for the 7. Hermie?
Several issues. You heard Cole Custer describing his race car too tight in the center, but before he gets there, he's too loose on entry, so they will try to fix that first 4 tires and fuel for the 0-0. The 20 of Christopher Bell, he likes this car as well. Starts off a little bit on the free side. They'll adjust it with air pressure, 4 tires and fuel for Christopher Bell.
And Bell is going to win the race off pit road. I do believe it is close. We might have to look at that one.
Look at the games being played back there with Allgaier.
And Custer got him at the line. Huge turn of events here for Cole Custer and the 0-0. He goes over the line, kisses the wall, caution comes out, comes down pit road, and then this wins the battle. And look behind him. You want to be in the outside lane. Track position is everything when it comes to a short track. Cole Custer and his group getting it done on the pit lane, and he will be in control as we get a restart with under 30 laps to go.
We saw that battle off pit road and how tight that was, and Cole Custer is very happy right now to be pulling up to that outside line for this restart. There was never a doubt in his mind which lane he was going to select right there.
Another guy happy is Austin Cindric. That move at the end of pit road to let Allgaier go ahead of him, or to try to make Allgaier go ahead of him. It might have been costly for some of the racers behind them as they all stacked up, but racers are pretty selfish, and it worked out perfectly for Austin Cindric. He will now roll from the second row outside.
Harrison Burton, one of those that went in the wrong direction. He's going to restart 10th here. There's 13 drivers on the lead lap.
And a big key to this, as Michael said, that 22 car, if he's able to get to the outside of Christopher Bell coming off of turn 2 on this restart right now, that could pose a problem for Bell. If he can't clear Cindric, then that means he's got to spend laps battling with Cindric, putting heat into his tires. That's less laps that he has to catch and get by Cole Custer, assuming that Custer does get the lead here.
I look for Bell to be really aggressive down on the bottom, maybe dive hard into one, trying to clear Custer.
28 to go.
About as perfect as Christopher Bell could have done it right there. He will have a brief opening, but he may just say the heck with it. I'm going to go ahead and try to make the pass right now.
Well, that's because they put about 2 or 3 car links on the racers behind them. It's opened the door for him to make that bid to the inside. It doesn't work. Justin Allgaier now races from the 3rd position. That restart for Cindric was terrible.
Momentum in the outside lane, the difference on the restart, and a bit of damage there for Chad Fincham, but he's able to make the save, and we stay green.
A little bit loose again for Custer. You saw him sideways in the center, and look at that rough
contact. Not once, but twice. Bell to the inside, trying to get the lead back from Cole Custer.
A little concerning for both these guys as we see him clear for the lead. Coming off of turn 2 right there, Christopher Bell does.
We can see his drive shaft all up under that car. He's right on top of Christopher Bell.
I was about to say, a little concerning for both those guys, though. That right front tire and that left rear of Cole Custer, you've got to be so careful that you don't knock a valve stem off or cut a tire when you make contact like they just did on the straightaway.
Justin Allgaier just laying in the weeds. He'd like to get his first win of 2019.
Cole Custer now has to do everything he can to keep pace with Bell, so that maybe when the tires get a little heat in them, a little more heat in them, he can pass.
Bell just wasn't going to be denied, was he?
Yeah, we saw Custer bobbling a little bit in the middle of turns 3 and 4. They're the same thing he's fought with this car on the short runs all day long, and they just got too close down the front straightaway there, and once they made the contact, that was enough. As you see right there, Christopher Bell makes the clear move.
Here's the save for Chad Fincham. Contact on the restart. How did he keep that out of the wall?
At least he didn't completely keep it out of the wall. How did he keep it going in the right direction, though? That was a nice save.
I assure you, inside that car, it looked like he was spotting bees right there with that steering wheel.
The main thing that Custer doesn't want to do is let Bell get out to a couple-second lead so he can cool his tires and just ride for a few laps. He needs to keep the heat on. And that's what Custer's trying to do. You can see him slipping sideways a couple of times in Bell's rearview mirror.
Bell leading, Custer second. Mentioned Allgaier in 3rd. Right behind him, Zane Smith, Harrison Burton. Combined 7 starts in the Xfinity Series.
I think when you look at all of Junior Motorsports, this is 2 weeks in a row that they've had a solid day. You got Allgaier in 3rd, Zane Smith in 4th. Michael Annett up there in 7th place. All the race cars starting to maybe creep up on that speed. And I know from Justin Allgaier's perspective, he really looks forward to these summer months, and that's paying true right now.
Allgaier's been top 5 in 3 of the last 4 races. And if not for some problems late at Pocono, could very well be 4 in a row for the driver out of Illinois.
Speaking of Junior Motorsports, in the free pass position right now is Noah Gregson. Just behind him is Tyler Reddick. Get a late caution. One of those two is going to come back on the lead lap. And I believe maybe have a set of tires left.
You still selling me on? Well, they don't give up, either one of them, that's for sure. This for 6, Chase Briscoe, Michael Annett.
Right behind them, John Hunter Nemechek in the picture there. Every time Justin Haley gets to ninth, he kind of stalls out. We've seen him fall from ninth to the back and was up front once because of strategy, and now he's back in ninth again.
Well, and I find it funny that you mentioned John Hunter Nemechek, because if you say that name, we're going to have to say Haley, because these guys have had a magnet connected to these two race cars all day.
Reminder, Harrison Burton restarted 10th after that big mess coming off of pit road, and here he is trying to get the 4th position from Zane Smith.
Just a very nice run today by Harrison Burton in that race car, and he just gains confidence. You can see it. He had a good run at Bristol, a little bit of trouble that set him back further than where he raced most of the day, but he was up in the top 5 with that race car a good portion of the day at Bristol as well, and somebody that a lot of people are very high on his ability behind the wheel, and he's showing that today.
Well, and he's making moves right now. That was a really fast lap time, even with the pass of Zane Smith. So, we got
Caution.
He's definitely in the wall this time, Michael. Chad Fincham, caution is out, 7th one of the day. We'll get another restart, and it'll come with less than 15 on the scoreboard.
Let's send Noah Gragson around with a free pass, Adam, as you see the 42 pinch him into that outside wall.
Just as we've seen all day long, gets up too high on the banking. The past few trips to Iowa, we've not seen him work that top groove in right next to the wall. And once you get into that dirt, we just keep mentioning it. Once you get into that dirt and that debris that's up there, your car feels like it's on ice. And the free pass on this caution. Michael, your guy, Noah Gragson.
Well, and we think he has tires.
He does. He has one set of tires.
He should
left,
have,
and that's
right?
a perfect scenario for Noah Gragson to be able to, at least, if not win this race, still battle back for a top 10.
And, you know, it's going to probably not allow Tyler Reddick to have that same fortune, because we're getting so late in the race. He's going to be in a position for the free pass after this caution, but still laps are winding down.
Cautions breed cautions, as we know. You never know. A quick yellow and he can come back in, get the get the free pass, and potentially get his tires after that.
And the guys in front of him have less than 20 laps of green flag on their tires, so it's not like these are really, really old. But you put fresh tires on and an aggressive mindset at this stage of the game, and anything is liable to happen. This is what we had last restart. Custer in the top spot and Bell going after him.
And we talked about Bell being aggressive down on the bottom when they restarted, and that was a great example of that.
And if we look at the right front tire compared to the right rear, as we saw it on that shot right there, that shows you the amount of contact that they made, and that can really signify to you how hard those race cars hit. That Goodyear was completely gone off of the right front, and when that contact is significant enough to take that lettering off of that tire, that's getting awful close and flirting with that line of maybe cutting that tire down or popping a valve stem out. So both of those guys very fortunate there that they didn't have something more than just contact happen.
Is there a rivalry developing here?
Yes, I feel it. I remember at Michigan when late in the race the pit call got messed up. Christopher was more concerned. Talked to him last week. He was more concerned about the fact that Cole blew his doors off. He said, we got to make sure we get better. I can't have people blowing my doors off. And we saw how aggressive Christopher was racing Cole here. I feel it. Don't you feel it?
Well, remember when Cole won the pole today? And he commented about the line that Bell ran during qualifying and how he was maybe trying to throw a little shade on what the best line was. Remember that?
Gamesmanship way back in qualifying even. And let's play this forward a little bit. These guys are going to restart side by side with each other here in just a moment. And Cole Custer knows that Christopher Bell just used him up coming off of turn 4. I promise you, if they go in side by side, it's not going to cross his mind at all to not just maybe go a little bit higher up the banking than what he typically would, and try to push him up the hill as well.
Busy night on FS1. It's been a great week on the Fox family of networks with the FIFA Women's World Cup, U.S. Open over on Fox. We got a Gold Cup match coming up next. CONCACAF puts Costa Rica against Nicaragua. That happens at 8:30 Eastern time following Gold Cup match today. And here's a storyline, Regan, that you have been selling throughout 2019. It's the dirt guys against the pavement guys. There's definitely a rivalry amongst this group.
You know, I've looked at the names and looked at where these guys came up from, and it's just we try to say which one's better. Should you start on dirt? Should you start on pavement? Well, you look at the list of these guys, and it's really tough to say one is better than the other. We've got talented guys coming from all different backgrounds in this sport, and they're having success doing it.
But our big three all came from the dirt. Well, Cole Custer has limited.
They didn't.
That's right. You're right.
And as we look at it right now,
you were trying.
As we look at it right now, we've got dirt, pavement listed up there in the top 4.
So it's a toss-up, right?
That's the point I think I'm trying to make.
And where's Knoxville? We're not too far away.
Christopher Bell, a lot of experience at Knoxville in that racetrack just down the street.
My math says the top 6, we've got 3 of each.
I like your math.
Top 7, there's 4 pavements, right? Mike Linnett's back there. It's pretty much 50-50, isn't it? Mike Linnett, the Iowa racer, sees that front row right up ahead of him. He's going to be very aggressive on this restart.
What's the latest on Gragson, Hermie?
Adam, we really need to mention that due to lack of practice yesterday, they awarded these teams an additional set of tires. The 9 car just came down and got that last set of tires and pumped the air pressure up. They could, you know, they really could, especially with 1 or 2 more cautions, could really get up there and probably salvage a good day, considering they were 2 laps down about halfway through this one.
Have everything go their way, and it's worked out to get them back in the game and a chance for a top 10 finish here.
And you mentioned the bump the air pressure up. You do that because the car will fire off faster. You don't have a long run left right here, so you bump the tires up to maybe get a couple extra positions and a little more aggressive early on.
Last time we were here, Michael, double overtime.
He's going to try to run some qualifying laps here in that 9 car.
Telemetry is in for the front row. 10 left at Iowa.
Great restart for Custer. He's right there. Will he use that left rear up like Bell did?
Man, that is close racing off of turn 2 with these guys.
Custer hanging in. Allgaier right behind him. Bell all clear off the corner.
Custer really sailed it into turn 1 right there. He did make some ground up. Didn't lose a ton of time on the exit by what he did right there.
Harrison Burton's glad he didn't have to pit. He's still in the top 5, and he's got a really fast car right now. Look at the run he's got off turn 4, does Burton.
I felt like he's gone to school all day long on these veterans of the Xfinity Series. Little 3 wide, no problem.
Continue to battle back here, 3 wide, almost 4 wide at one point as they came off of the corner. All spreading out, looking for that clean air on the nose of their race cars, trying to find that extra little bit of grip to get one more spot as this race winds down.
There you see Noah Gragson trying to race inside the top 10.
This is the race for 3rd. Burton and Allgaier.
Just not enough momentum to completely clear that pass. We'll see if maybe he can get enough off of turn 2 here.
Car's been really strong all day long, just having to battle track position. Finally has it, trying to take that 3rd position away.
I thought for sure we'd get another caution, but right now, 5 laps to go for Christopher Bell.
Well, don't count him out. Don't count the caution out. Yeah, look at this, 3 wide.
Speaking of cautions, Gragson up to 9th.
Tyler Reddick. Never give up attitude. Currently riding in the free pass position. Just needs that caution.
Gragson hanging on to that thing in turn 4.
Completely sideways with that race car. We perked up at the same time, said, oh, boy, that looked like it was going to be kind of scary coming off the 4.
I wish we could do this all night. I love the intensity of this racing. Look at that. contact between, guess who, Regan? John Hunter and Justin Haley.
Once again, and the beneficiary from that is Noah Gragson. He gets a 2-for-1 special there, passes both of those race cars.
9th to 7th. He wants a caution now with those fresh tires. What a late rally.
Oh, and there's damage to the 11 car of Haley. You can see the back end's torn off. Can he make it without blowing that right rear tire?
He's 12th right now. 2 laps to go for Christopher Bell. He wants to see that white flag, doesn't he?
We know Christopher Bell doesn't want that caution. That was some pretty heavy smoke, so we'll have to just be aware of it.
A 2.5 seconds in front of Cole Custer. Off of turn 4, going to see the white flag. 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
White flag, come back no matter what. 5:20. One more smooth lap.
Right now, as a driver, all you're doing is you're trying to hit all your marks. You're trying to be perfect behind the wheel. You've done everything all day long that you need to.
Christopher Bell is a short track ace. His 4th win of 2019 is going to come at Iowa Speedway. Allgaier edges Burton for 3rd.
Gentlemen. Absolutely. Great car, guys. Great car. Thank you. Won on Mother's Day weekend when my mom was there. Now I won on Father's Day weekend with my dad here. Thank you, guys.
Very cool as a race car driver to have the ability to accomplish that feat, win on Mother's Day and Father's Day weekend. I know that's very special for him.
12 career wins. One at the end of 2017 when he was a Gander Truck Series regular. Came over here as a rookie, won 7 times a season ago, and off to an incredible start in 2019.
Not too shabby at the burnouts. Plenty of practice out of it. That is a very good burnout there.
When you win a lot, you know how to celebrate. Joe Gibbs Racing has now won 5 of the last 7 here at Iowa. And Bell has won 5 of the last 8 on short tracks. He dominates, leading 186 laps this afternoon.
Coming up next on FS1, it's Gold Cup match day. On day 2 of the tournament, Costa Rica kicks off against Nicaragua. We will get you ready for that, plus the latest on the U.S. men's national team as they count down to their Gold Cup opener on Tuesday.
Thanks, Ian. We'll see you shortly. First, some business to take care of here at Iowa Speedway, where Christopher Bell has knocked off Cole Custer for his 4th win of the season.
Knocked off and knocked out of the way. That aggressive line down the front straightaway. Aaron side drafted off the 00, slowed his momentum, and closed the door off turn 2.
We're going to victory lane, and Hermie Sadler. Let him out, Hermie.
Here he is, victory lane, Christopher Bell. Dominating performance, 2nd win at this racetrack. Man, what a dominating performance. Your 4th win of the year, 2nd one at this racetrack, and you do it on Father's Day. What does this one mean to you?
Man, it's pretty cool. First off, thank you to all of our partners at Rude, Rheem, Toyota Racing Development. All the partners at Xfinity that helped put on this great show in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, man, I got to win at Dover on Mother's Day weekend, or I guess the weekend before with my mom there. And now I just won on Father's Day weekend with my dad here, so it was pretty special. And I'm here with the driver, Christopher Bell. We saw some beating, we saw some banging out there, some contact. Any hard feelings after a race like this, Cole?
No, I think it was racing. I mean, I think Iowa I think every driver will agree that this place puts on the best racing that we go to. So it was fun. They just, Christopher and them had the best car all day. So I feel like we've caught up to them a good amount. We just need more time to work on it. I mean, we only had 45 minutes of practice. So I think we'll come back better the next time. But I can't thank Fields, everybody at Ford Performance. I was wishing to get Fields their first win today on our first race with them. But, we're going to come back better next time.
Still smiling after second place, Adam.
Thanks, Alan. We look at the standings. 14 races in. Your thoughts on today, fellas?
I just was impressed with Christopher Bell, but I love what Cole Custer said there. Heck yeah, that's just racing, beating and banging. That's what this is all about.
That has been the attitude of these Xfinity drivers all year. We saw it start way back at Daytona and Atlanta, and all season long they've been battling. I've loved every second of it, and they're going to continue to the rest of this season.
An off weekend coming for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Trucks are running next Saturday night at Gateway. Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to the track 1 week from today. First road course event of the year. We're in wine country. Both races can be seen on FS1. Happy Father's Day, everybody. And congratulations to Christopher Bell, who's celebrating his 4th win of the year. He's gone back-to-back at Iowa. We'll see you next time. A special edition of NASCAR Race Up tomorrow at 6 Eastern. Right now, it's time for soccer on FS1. Enjoy.